masuala ya child protection, kwenye masuala ya procurement.
Haya yote uliyoyasema kwamba mnayafanya kwa kulenga nini au kuachieve nini?
Lengo kabisa ni kupunguza udumavu kwa watoto chini ya miaka miwili kwenye ile window of opportunity tangu mama anapata ujauzito hadi mtoto anapofikia umri wa miaka miwili. Na
kwa nini kuna udumavu?
Kuna udumavu, kuna sababu mojawapo ni ulishaji na unyonyeshaji duni, lakini pia watu awali kula mchanganyiko, lakini pia kuna sababu nyingine labda kwenye masuala ya food systems, labda wakati mwingine labda kwenye unaweza kukuta kuna baadhi ya vyakula havipatikani kiurahisi, hasa labda vyakula ambavyo ni jamii ya nyama hasa. Lakini pia
kwa sababu mimi ninavyoona hivi vyakula vyote ulivyovisema hapa,
ndio
huko vijijini huko vipo. Sasa mimi issue yangu ni kwa nini kuna udumavu? Kwa sababu hapa mimi kiangalia mna kitu kigeni. Hata ule bibi yangu kule kijijini Tanga kule nikienda, hizi ngogwe zipo, bamia zipo, karoti zipo, na wanalima, maji yako mengi sana. Lakini sasa kwa nini kuna udumavu?
Kwa mfano kwa kule Iringa unakuta kina mama wako wanafanya kwenye mashamba ya chai labda huko, kwa hiyo hawapati muda wa kutosha wa kuandaa chakula, wa kuwanyonyesha watoto wao. Kwa hiyo hata kama wanaandaa haraka, wakati mwingine wanapika chakula usiku, jioni wanatumia kama vipolo. Kwa hiyo ni sehemu ambayo tunafanya social behavioral change ili waweze kufanya vitu ambavyo they are right.
Tatizo ni nini? Unaweza kumsaidia? Bado sijalipata. Tatizo ni nini? Vyakula vipo, kila kitu kipo, lakini kuna udumavu.
Mgeni rasmi, tukiongelea swala la udumavu Tanzania, sababu ni zaidi ya moja, lakini ukiacha na alichosema ndugu yangu Peter, kuna swala la matunzo na malezi ya watoto. Mtoto kawaida anatakiwa apate milo 5. Na mara nyingi katika jamii zetu tunakuta kwamba hatupati milo 5, lakini pia tunakula chakula cha aina gani? Mtoto kuanzia asubuhi anakunywa uji. Mwisho wa siku unakuta amekula tu kundi moja la chakula. Lakini vile vile kuna mila na tamaduni ambazo zinazuia baadhi ya vyakula kuliwa na baadhi ya watoto au kundi fulani la watu. Lakini pia tukiongelea kuhusu nyanda za juu kusini, kwa swala la mfumo dume ndio tunazalisha sana. Mwisho wa siku maamuzi ya nini kinaliwa nyumbani na anafanya, maamuzi ya chakula kikiuzwa, ule mgawanyo wa rasilimali katika kaya ukoje. Lakini tukiongelea kwamba mama ndio anaenda shambani toka asubuhi mpaka jioni, wala watoto wanabaki na bibi ambaye ni mzee sana kwa hata kuwatunza hawezi, au wakati mwingine anabaki na dada yake wa miaka 5 ambao atakaa pale, watafunua chungu, watakunywa tu uji, watakula kiazi kilichochemshwa ambao ni wanga toka asubuhi mpaka jioni. Mwisho wa siku unakuta kwamba vyakula vipo, lakini kinaliwaje, kinaandaliwaje, lakini pia mazingira pale nyumbani yakoje, tunakula, tunaishia kuharisha, virutubisho vyote vinaondoka katika chakula. Kwa mwisho wa siku unakuta kwamba ndio vyakula vipo, lakini utapiamlo uko pale, udumavu unaendelea, elimu inatolewa, lakini pia
hii kazi mshaifanya kwa muda gani kwenye area fulani? Tuchukulie labda pale Iringa unapozungumzia Tahera wamekaa marifani kwa muda gani? Ninachotaka kuuliza swali ni moja. Haya yote ambayo tumeyafanya hapa, nataka nione kwamba the statistic kuna improvement, kuna jambo ambalo limefanyika likaonekana kwamba kutokana na hii program imebadilisha. Samahani, naweza kuwa maswali yangu ni magumu, lakini mimi naona ni mepesi. Kwa sababu gani? If we don't know exactly what's the cause ya udumavu, zikawa ni 10 au ni 20, alafu tukatafuta zile ambazo zinaendana katika mazingira yetu, alafu tukaangalia kwamba tunaziaddress vipi, itasaidia sana, kwa sababu itakuwa ni research based intervention ambayo unaoifanya. Kwa sababu mimi nitawaambia vyakula vyote hivi vipo.
Ni kweli.
Yaani vipo, lakini ushaanza kugusia kimoja, kinapikwaje? Sidhani kama kuna baba ambaye atakataa mtoto wake asipewe chakula kizuri. Kabisa. Hayupo. Lakini anaweza kukataa vitu vingine. Issue ni kwamba kinapikwaje na wanakulaje. Sasa issue inaweza ikawa ni upikaji. Sasa upikaji tunauaddress vipi? Unaweza kumwambia vyakula vyote viko hapa, lakini mwisho wa siku anapikaje? Lakini itoshe tu kuweza kusema mimi niwapongeze kwa hizi jitihada. Swala la udumavu linasemekana kwamba ni kubwa, liko maeneo mbalimbali, na kwa bahati mbaya zaidi liko katika maeneo ambayo ndio kuna uzalishaji wa chakula kingi.
Ni kweli mheshimiwa.
Maeneo ya nyanda za juu kusini, they have everything. Vyakula vipo, lakini mimi nafikiri turudi tukae chini tujiulizie kwa nini.
Uelewa.
chakula, una matunda, labda huna ndizi, lakini una ubuyu huko kule Dodoma mwingi, tutengeneza kajuisi kako hapo, wape watoto. Una mboga ya majani, weka, ili kuwe na mchanganyiko wa aina zote za chakula. Na hicho tumekuwa tukikisisitiza sana kwenye elimu zetu tunazowapa wale wamama kwenye zile groups ambazo tumezitengeneza kwenye communities.
Sawa. Nafikiri hilo ni nzuri sana. Mimi nitazungumza mawili tu. La kwanza kabisa, yani kama ushauri, uelewa umeelezwa ni jambo zuri sana. Lakini uelewa tunaweza kuaddress vipi? Tunaweza tukapata kina mama wapi? Tunaweza tukaneza programu ipi ambayo ikawa ni rafiki ambayo kina mama wakapata ile elimu? Moja ni kuweza kuangalia kuna mahali ambapo yani asilimia kubwa mama wajawazito watakwenda kwenye antenatal clinic. Pale ni mahali ambapo wanaweza kupata elimu. Kwa hiyo mnaweza mkajiangalia how do you partner? Wapi uende? Lakini kuna ile program kama unaifahamu ambayo inaitwa sijui ni Nutrition Day Village.
Village Health and Nutrition Day.
Yes, ile nilikuwa nakumbuka kabisa mimi wakati niko rasi, unawaruhusu watu wanakwenda, wanapewa vyakula, wanaenda kukaa na wale watu kijijini, wanafanyaje? Wanapika. Pia tufanye assessment tuweze kuona kwamba intervention tunazozifanya, yani how much they change ile knowledge and attitude, na vile vile kupunguza ule udumavu. Sababu we can be doing this tunafanya, lakini mwisho wa siku tuangalie hapa mahali fulani tunakwenda. Hapa tunapokwenda pana tatizo hili kiasi hiki. Tumeshawa identify hao mama wenye matatizo yako hivi. Hebu tuwape elimu, alafu tu observe over the time. Je, udumavu unashuka ama unakwenda katika vipi? Lakini udumavu pia tuangalie tunaupima vipi. Mimi najua watu wa Iringa kule ni wafupi kama mimi. Samani kama kuna watu wa Iringa hapa, lakini wengi. Sasa si tumedumaa.
Sawa. Yeah, the gene kombo ndio baadaye.
Kwa hiyo sisi mara nyingi tunakuwa tunasema sisi ni wafupi, lakini sio.
Umri gani mpaka umri gani? Mpaka miaka mingapi? Miwili.
Mpaka miwili. Wanakuwa sawa.
Hawaonyeshi huyo ni mfupi au mnene. Isipokuwa mheshimiwa tatizo kuja kujitokeza nyingine ni kwamba kama alivyoelezea chakula kipo lakini umekiandaa. Kwa ndio maana unaona tuna hizi documents hii hapa ambazo tunaonyesha miongozo ambayo tunaionyesha. Unaona hapa kwa mfano hivi ni vyakula ambavyo vinapatikana katika level ya jamii. Sasa tunasema kwa mfano nataka kupika boko la chakula cha mtoto.
Yule mama wa kijijini kabisa ataweza kusoma hii.
Ameandaa mwenyewe. Sasa hii menu hii haikuandaliwa na wataalamu kama wataalamu. Ni wakina mama ndo wameandaa. Sisi tumeliweka tu hapa. Kila kitu na kuwaboreshea. Hongereni sana jamani, samani. Kuna mali na interest nayo kama hii kwa sababu mimi nilipokuwa rasi Songwe nilikuwa ni mmoja wapo katika implementation ya nutrition nani hii. Lakini swala la umavu kula wakati tuko liko juu. Kwa hiyo moja ya jukumu tulilopewa na kwa by that time tunasaini mkataba na Mheshimiwa Rais. Waziri Mkuu anasaini na Mheshimiwa Rais, na Mheshimiwa Waziri Mkuu anasaini na mawaziri wa sekta, mawaziri wa sekta wanasaini na wakuu wa mikoa wanasaini na marasi wanasaini na wakuu wa wilaya, wakurugenzi hivyo hivyo. Kwa sisi tumeshiriki katika swala zima la kuaddress hii. Lakini the biggest tunachotakiwa kwenye mkutano tuone kwamba it's almost more than 5 years. How are we doing? Tunakwenda wapi? Are we on the right track? Tubadilishe interventions au tuweze kufanya vitu gani? Hili ni swali ambalo ni la msingi sana tuweze kujiuliza kwenye hii, ndio tutaweza kuaddress. Na lazima tuitengeneze katika the local context ya kurudi kwa yule mama kule. Sababu unaweza ukamtengenezea vitu vyote hivi lakini turudi watu wanacho. Nini anaweza kufanya? Kwa nini afanye hivi? Anaenda kufanya kitu kingine, inaweza ikatusaidia sana katika masuala kama hayo. Na ukiconsider hizo genetical kama tulizosema, nimepata elimu hapa. Kumbe watoto mpaka miaka miwili huwezi kumjua mrefu na mfupi. That's a very good news to me. Asante sana.
Moja na nusu au 2 maximum.
Waongozi. Unamjua anachosema. Niambie kipi? Who is Wilda?
Yes.
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 Tell me what's the new thing, want to tell me that I don't know.
Sawa, nashukuru sana. Kikubwa ambacho nahisi ujui ni kwamba kwa kupitia Save the Children, japokuwa sisi ni organization ni kubwa, lakini wao walitufanyia capacity building na tukajiona tuna maeneo gani muhimu na sisi wenyewe kama shirika hatuna. Mfano, tulikuwa hatuna procurement officer kuanzia 1977. Lakini pia tulikuwepo hatuna policies ambazo zipo zilizokuwepo, lakini nyingine tuliziuisha. Kwa hiyo ile organization capacity building ambao walikuwa wametufanyia ikatusaidia sisi kama shirika, ikatujengea uwezo, lakini sasa hivi tuko vizuri. Lakini kingine ambacho ningetaka kukujuza ni kwamba kwa mwaka huu tunafanya game changer. Tunajua ukatili wa kijinsia unafanyika na tumekuwa tukipromote sana, lakini pia wanawake, watoto. Tumeangalia upande wa wanaume nao. Tumefanya male engagement sessions tofauti. Hasa kata ya Ilala ambayo tunaamini ukeketaji umekuwa ukifanyika sana maeneo ya kule. Kwa hiyo tumekutana, tumeendesha sessions tofauti za mpira. Tumefikia vijana kwa njia hiyo. Kwamba kabla ya mpira tumeendesha session pamoja na polisi wa kule. Session ya ukatili wa kijinsia, wao wanaonaje na nini tunatoka.
Matokeo bado.
Matokeo tumeyapata kwa sababu tumefikia wengi, lakini pale tuliweka champions turipotia masuala ya ukatili wa kijinsia kwamba jamani huku leo kuna mtu sawa. Asante ndugu.
Wanne hapa ambao tunatekeleza mradi huu wa SIDA kupitia Save the Children. Kikubwa yes. Okay. Sisi kwa upande wa TCRF ni jukwaa la watoto kwa upande wa Tanzania bara. Tunatekeleza haki za watoto kwa upande wa Tanzania bara. Sehemu kubwa tunafanya advocacy. Yes. Mafanikio makubwa tumeweza kuwawezesha watoto, hasa baraza la watoto la taifa, kuwajengea uwezo kushiriki kwenye. Hatukulianzisha, lakini tumesaidia leadership na maeneo mengine ya maamuzi, kwa wanashiriki vizuri katika ngazi za maamuzi.
Asante. Na sisi ni jukwaa la haki za watoto kwa upande wa Zanzibar ZCRF. Kikubwa ambacho tunakifanya ni kufanya utetezi na uchechemuzi wa haki za watoto, na kikubwa ambacho sisi tumefanikiwa kama ZCRF, tumeona kwa mara ya kwanza watoto wameweza kupata nafasi ya kushiriki kwenye jukwaa la mwaka la bajeti la Zanzibar ambalo linaongozwa na waziri wa fedha, na wakapewa nafasi wakawasilisha maoni yao. Lakini vile vile watoto kwenye wilaya ya mjini wamepatiwa ofisi kwa ajili ya kuratibu kazi zao mbalimbali za mabaraza, na kwa pia tumekuja na mwongozo mpya wa mabaraza ya watoto kwa upande wa Zanzibar ili kuimarisha mabaraza na klabu za watoto mashuleni.
Zangu make a strong network ya watoto. Sisi kama Zaka Plus tunatumia kwamba kupitia mradi huu tunaweza kuimarisha taasisi zetu kisambaki sasa Afrika, tunaweza kuimarisha viongozi wetu, mfumo ya kitaasisi, na sasa tumeanza kuona namna gani tunaongeza wadau katika kutusaidia kutekeleza kazi zetu. Na baada ya kusema hayo, naomba nikupe zawadi mheshimiwa.
Asante. Kwa majina naitwa Adelina Kamara. Nimepewa dakika moja. Kwa majina naitwa Adelina Kamara, tuko idara ya elimu Save the Children. Kwa Save the Children kwa kifupi, tunafanya na local partners ambao ni kwa upande wa Mbozi, tuna ADP Mbozi. Tumeweza kushirikiana nao kuwafundisha wazazi namna ya kutengeneza low cost or no cost materials ambazo wanazitumia kuandaa watoto kwa ajili ya maandalizi ya shule. Kwa hiyo tuna hizi low cost materials ambazo tumewafundisha wazazi na tumebadilisha behavior za wazazi katika zile interaction na watoto wao. Mradi tumeutekeleza Mbozi wa kuandaa watoto Mbozi ya Songwe ndio. Lakini pia tunashirikiana na idara ya elimu katika kuhakikisha kwamba tunatekeleza zile skills za 21st century ambao tuna train walimu namna ya kutumia hizi digital materials katika kufundisha watoto. Kwa hiyo tunafundisha walimu namna ya kuandaa masomo na kuandaa kazi za wanafunzi kwa kutumia digital materials. Karibu sana. Asante.
Karibu, sisi ni jukwaa la mabadiliko ya tabia nchi Forum CC. tunashughulikia zaidi mambo ya mabadiliko ya tabia nchi, na kwa muktadha huu tunaangalia athari za mabadiliko ya tabia nchi na namna ya kukabiliana nazo mabadiliko ya tabia nchi, athari zake kwa watoto, climate change, yes, na namna ambavyo labda sera za nchi, wadau mbalimbali tunavyoweza kuangalia haki za mtoto zinaathiriwa vipi kwenye muktadha huu, watoto wafanyeje, wazazi, jamii, lakini pia serikali iweke mazingira yapi ya sisi kama taifa kukabiliana na athari hizo. Kwa bahati nzuri, kwa mfano kwenye shughuli hii tumeweza kufanikisha mambo mawili makubwa. Tumepata climate change environment imeingia kwenye mtaala elimu ya msingi, lakini kwa mara ya kwanza taifa linakwenda kwenye mkutano wa 29 wa mabadiliko ya tabia nchi na haki za watoto na namna zinavyoathiriwa. Hayo ni mambo mawili makubwa sana. Karibuni.
Asante sana kwa kuja. Hili ni banda la ulinzi wa mtoto pamoja na usalama wake. Kwa haraka ningependa kuweza kuelezea namna gani Save the Children imeweza kutoa.
Hello everyone, good morning again. The guest of honor is on the last booth. Soon after that, we'll invite him inside and we will start the program. Thank you very much, and I hope you're able to follow through, even if it's the sound, on what's going on the exhibition side.
Ni chombo ambacho watoto tunakaa na kufanya maamuzi. Kwa Save the Children imetusaidia sana kuweza kufanya mabaraza yetu kuweza kujulikana na kuwa hai. Pia Save the Children imeweza kushirikisha katika mambo mbalimbali, hasa katika mambo yanayohusu sisi watoto katika uandikaji wa ripoti ya UPR, periodic report, ambapo sisi kama watoto tuliandika ripoti yetu, changamoto gani tunazipata, mapendekezo pamoja na mafanikio. Pia Save the Children imetusaidia katika kuunda kamati ya vijana na watoto ya ushauri wa Save the Children, ambapo hiyo kamati huwa inakaa pamoja na kushauri Save the Children namna gani ya kuweza kuboresha na kuifanya watoto na vijana kuwa salama katika mazingira tunayoishi na Tanzania yote kwa ujumla.
Asalamu alaykum. Wakubwa zangu shikamoni. Kwa majina naitwa Mohsin Haji Simai, natokea Zanzibar. Ni makamu mwenyekiti wa bodi ya ushauri wa watoto Zanzibar. Kiupande wetu sisi Zanzibar, Save the Children imetusaidia sana kwa sababu hapo mwanzo ilikuwa mabaraza ya watoto hayajulikani. Kwa hiyo Save the Children imeendelea kuinua na kuboresha zaidi watoto kuwa na confidence ya kusimama mbele za watu na pia kujiamini katika kutoa na changamoto zao zinazowakumba. Pia Save the Children imetusaidia sisi watoto kukutana na viongozi wa wilaya ili mabaraza yajulikane. Kwa mfano ikitokea vile wazazi wamekutana na masheha au wakuu wa wilaya, kuhamasisha zaidi watoto wao na kuboresha yale mabaraza ya watoto. Kwa Save the Children imetusaidia katika hayo. Pia Save the Children imetusaidia katika kuna wenzetu wameenda Marekani, wameenda kushiriki katika ulinzi wa mtoto. Pia Save the Children imetusaidia katika kutengeneza mwongozo mpya, kwa sababu mwongozo wa mwanzo ulikuwa baadhi ya vitu ilikuwa hamuna. Kwa hiyo tumeongeza vile vitu, tukashauriana na Save the Children, kwa hiyo wakatutengezea mwongozo mpya. Kwa hiyo kila kitu sasa hivi kinaenda sawa. Imenisaidia kwa sababu
wametusaidia kwa sababu Save the Children ameingia pale kwa sababu tulisaidiana.
Ndio, Save the Children imesaidiana na serikali. Pia tulienda kuonana na waziri wa maendeleo ya jinsia na watoto Zanzibar, ambaye ndio tukazungumza naye, pia tukamtolea ile changamoto, pia alisema atazifanyia kazi na baadhi ya wilaya tayari ameshaanza kuzitembelea na kuboresha yale mabaraza. Mie nilivyojiwekea, kwa sababu mwanzo nilikuwa na ndoto tofauti, lakini baada ya kujiunga na mabaraza ya watoto nilitaka kwamba nikishakuwa mkubwa na mimi nije kuwa katika waasisi ambao wanashirikiana na watoto katika kutimiza ndoto zao. Mimi nataka hata niwe waziri.
Yaani kote uko unaenda huko mimi nataka nisikie hilo. Na una uwezo huo, inshallah Mungu atakupa.
Asante.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the honor of guest of honor, tafadhali tunaomba wote tuweze kumkaribisha. Tafadhali tunaomba tusimame Karibu sana ndugu mgeni rasmi. Makofi tafadhali. Asante sana. Asante sana. Basi wageni walikwa, karibuni sana. I would like to invite each and everyone. Thank you very much for following through with the first part of the program, which was to see the beautiful work and the impact that we have created. We are here all to celebrate what we have done, what we have achieved. We are Save the Children together with the partners that we have put together, this to showcase what localization can do to the impact that we are creating in this beautiful country. Good morning, everyone. We are still not yet there. I hope you had a cup of tea or coffee. One more time. Good morning. Nice. We are here to celebrate. Kama tulivyosema, tuko hapa kwa ajili ya kuweza kuhakikisha tunaonesha tulichofanikisha, lakini pia kuongeza jitihada hususan kwenye kuangalia namna gani tunashirikiana zaidi kama wadau wa maendeleo. My name is Amani. Nitakuwa moderator for today, but together with the team, we have prepared an agenda for you to be able to know exactly what is it that we have been doing, but also what is it that we are planning to do. And we hope you're going to participate with us. We're going to listen, but also ask questions and hopefully partner with us moving forward. We are here for the children. And kwa kusema hayo basi, tutaanza kwanza kwa kusema watoto oye. Kama watoto hapo tuseme wote oye, because we are all here because of them. Watoto oye. Watoto wi. Watoto wa. Nice. I know probably you're wondering, I am not a kid, but you're here to represent, and I'm sure in almost all the seats here, tukiuliza how many kids do you know? Not that do you have, do you know? Probably tunajikuta wote tunajua wengi sana. So that being said, I would like to first invite everyone to this venue. In case you have any challenges, you can see anyone from SEV will be here to support. I'd like to invite the first speaker for today to introduce everyone, at least to get familiar of who is in this room. And with all the honor, tafadhali, I'd like to invite Anatoly. Please let's put our hands together for the introductory remarks. Karibu sana.
Asante sana, man. Habarini za asubuhi. Those who cannot speak Swahili, good morning. Yeah, I take this opportunity to welcome you to this big event. My role is just to introduce our visitors who have attended this event this morning. I'll do it in groups. Yeah? And I will start with the donor agents community. I would like to introduce representative from USAID. Please, if you are, just wave your hand. Representative from SIDA. And I would want to introduce representative from FCDO. GIZ. And then I will move on to representative from embassies that are represented here. The Netherlands Embassy, Embassy of Sweden, Tanzania, German Embassy, and then I will move on to representative from UNDP, UNICEF, UN Women. The next category is our colleagues from the private sector, representative from NMB, NBC, CRDB Bank, Vodafone Foundation, CEO of the Round Table of Tanzania, AFDB, and Barrick. Sorry, I forgot with the donor agents, the Swiss agents, representative. Then I will move on to our partner, the national NGO and local NGO. I would like to recognize you in a group. If you are around, please stand up. A representative from national and local NGOs. The next category, in a special way, they are the 7 partners we have been working together under the localization project. The 7 partners, please stand up. Last but not least, our colleagues from the international NGOs, representative from Site Saver, IRC, Sigo Family, and others. So thank you for coming. That was my assignment, and I have completed my assignment.
Thank you very much, Anatoly. Can we please put our hands together? Also, thank you. We also appreciate the presence of media. They had just one request because they're representing the majority, so they are asking when you can also, especially for the key messages that key call to action, they also appreciate if you could also mix the languages, so also Kiswahili, ili waweze kupata maudhui sahihi ya kufikisha ujumbe kwa Watanzania wengine ambao hawako kwenye chumba hichi. For everyone who was not mentioned, tafadhali please bear with us, but we acknowledge your presence, and also we will ensure that you are acknowledged as we go on. So, thank you, Anatoly, for that introductory remarks. Moving forward, I would like to invite the CD for Save the Children Tanzania for the opening remarks. Karibu sana. Makofi kwake tafadhali.
Before I start, may I call the children to come and stand with me? Watoto, come. This is for you. Kujeni haraka haraka. Chap chap. Yes. Asante sana. We are for children, we work with children, and I've invited them to be with me and give me the confidence that I'm doing the right thing for them. Good morning. Honorable guest of honor, Dr. Saif Shekalage, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Community Development, Women, Gender and Special Groups, esteemed donors and government partners, leaders from private sector, colleagues from both international and national civil society organization, waandishi wa habari,
my colleagues from Save the Children, ladies and gentlemen, protocol is completely observed. Today we stand here at a very crucial turning point in our journey as we gather to relaunch Save the Children Tanzania Localization Strategy and Country Strategic Plan for 2025-2027. This gathering is more than just a meeting. It is a declaration on our firm commitment to the future of Tanzania's children. It is a future driven by local leadership, genuine collaboration, and sustainable impact. Save the Children's vision is ambitious but essential, that by 2030 and beyond, we want every child in Tanzania to thrive in a society that is just, equitable, and sustainable. We aim to see stronger government systems safeguarding children's rights and ensuring that no child is left behind. This mission is vast, and we recognize that it will be impossible without the incredible support and collaboration of the government of Tanzania, our donors, partners, and local communities who share our commitment to children. Let me begin by expressing heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed donors, SIDA, USAID, EU, who are not here, unfortunately, but really appreciating them, and all other supporters that have been supporting our organization. Your trust in our mission and our steadfast support to make our work possible is really appreciated. To our local partners, from civil society organizations to community leaders, your young leaders, your tireless dedication, courage, and leadership are the heartbeat of every success that we are celebrating today. Together, you have enabled us to reach more children, strengthening systems, and create a real lasting impact across Tanzania. In our partnership with SIDA, we formed a coalition to end violence against children, engaging local leaders and communities to challenge harmful practices like early child marriages across Tanzania and Zanzibar. Under USAID Lishe Endelevu that ended last year, we joined forces with local CSOs to address child malnutrition and food insecurity, reaching 5 regions with initiatives that had improved household nutrition and reduced child stunting rates. In August 2024, we achieved a significant milestone in collaboration with the government of Tanzania, the official recognition of junior children councils in Tanzania mainland through the passage of the Child Protection Bill in Parliament. This landmark legislation secures children's voices in the decisions that affect them, underscoring our joint commitment to child rights. In Songwe region, our teacher training on the safe schools approach and parenting training on responsive caregiving have been adopted by the government, paving the way for sustainable ECD program financing by the local government itself. This collaboration highlights the commitment of Tanzanian teachers, parents, local authorities to building a resilient educational structure and safe learning environment for every child. At Save the Children, we believe that sustainable change stems from shifting power to where it belongs, in the hands of children, communities, and local actors closest to the issues. This commitment to shifting the power is at the heart of our strategy. By partnering with local actors, we empower those who best understand the care for the children in their communities to lead the way. Our partnership also extends to the private sector, where we integrate gender equity, disability, climate change, youth development, and inclusion in our strategies. Through initiatives like PANITA, a coalition of civil society organizations advocating for improved nutrition across 26 regions in Tanzania, our partners are becoming influential voices, engaging in high-level advocacy on issues that matter most to Tanzanian children. We are inspired by the impact of our local partners that they have achieved, particularly in capacity building and safeguarding. Today, Tanzanian youth are raising their voices on global platforms like the recent climate change symposium and yet to come COP29, where we gathered children and they were able to consolidate their ideas, their challenges, and what they see should be the way to go. Their dedication, as shown by planting trees by the young children. Over 3,000 trees have been planted across different regions, is a legacy where we are incredibly proud to support. Our commitment to localization also extends within our own organization. Save the Children Tanzania is now 99% Tanzanian staffed, including our country director, myself, a reflection of our dedication to nurturing local leadership, really nurturing local leadership. In terms of resource allocation, we prioritize local actors, and for instance, with our CEDA program, we were able to allocate 75% of our program funding directly supporting local organizations, leaving 25% only to Save the Children. This approach builds capacity, enhances ownership, and strengthens Tanzanian civil society landscape. A call to action. Today's relaunch of our 2025-2027 country strategic plan embodies a roadmap of ambitions, benchmarks, and streamlining processes co-created with our partners to reflect the aspiration of Tanzanian communities. As we move forward, we remain committed to sharing resources and investing in the growth of our local partners, knowing they are instrumental in achieving lasting change. Honorable Guest of Honor, Dr. Shekalage, we extend our deepest gratitude to the government of Tanzania for creating an enabling environment that allows Save the Children and our partners to support children's rights and well-being. Your continued leadership is crucial to the success of our goals. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing with us in this mission. Thank you for trusting us in this journey. Let us continue to build a society where every child can reach their full potential. Together, we can ensure that no child in Tanzania is left behind. Thank you very much.
Makofi tena kwake tafadhali. Asante sana. Asante sana. As we are proceeding on the journey to make sure that every child in Tanzania is reaching his or her full potential, I'd like to invite on stage now the board member for Save the Children Tanzania. With all the honor, tafadhali, let's put our hands together for Madam Josephine Fella.
Mtoto. Asante. Honorable Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Community Development, Gender, Women and Special Groups, Country Director, Save the Children, distinguished guests, esteemed partners and colleagues. Good morning. So my speech is written in English, but I heard the message that we will need it being translated in Swahili, so tutaifanyia kazi na kuitafsiri na kuwakabidhi. So I'll read it in English for now, so my apologies. So it's a privilege to be here with you today as we celebrate a significant milestone in Save the Children's localization journey and our strategy refresh event. And on behalf of my fellow Save the Children Tanzania board members, including myself, I extend a heartfelt thank you to each of you for being part of this event, where we renew our shared commitment to a transformative localization approach that places Tanzania communities at the heart of our mission. I'm especially honored to speak as one of the new local board members, the board that Save the Children established towards the end of last year. This new board represents a meaningful step forward in walking the talk on localization, allowing for local government and accountability that reflect a true spirit of Tanzanian ownership. Save the Children's decisions to create a board led by local directors is not just a symbolic, it is a powerful commitment to shifting ownership to those closest to the needs and aspirations of our communities. So this is a great milestone. Today's event reaffirms our dedication to this shift in power and responsibility, enabling Tanzanians to lead the way in shaping the future for our children. This strategy is bold and clear. By empowering local leaders, Save the Children aims to build resilient, self-reliant communities where children's rights and protections are at the core of every development effort. I am confident that our vision cannot be achieved in isolation. Sustainable community-driven development requires deep collaborative partnership. Seeing all of you here today, leaders from government, donors, agencies, civil society, the private sectors, and young people themselves is a powerful reminder of the strength we gain through unity. I encourage us all to continue seeking new partnership and strengthening those we already have. Together, aligned with Tanzanians' national priorities, we can create enduring change and empower communities to drive their own progress. Our refreshed Save the Children localization strategy and the 2025-2027 strategic plan set out an ambitious path forward with a steadfast commitment to child's rights protection and community empowerment in Tanzania. But this is more than just setting objectives. We are actively taking steps to build a future where local actors are empowered, where every child's voice is heard, and where development is truly community-led. Thank you to everyone who has contributed to this journey, our partners, donors, government allies, and incredible local organizations we work alongside. Your dedication, collaboration, and belief in localization make this work possible. Let's use today to inspire continued action and forge partnership that will drive sustainable community-led change for years to come. Together, we are committing not only to a strategy, but for the future of Tanzanian children. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Madam Josephine, for very inspiring words. We are here to forge partnerships, and if you have said yes to our invitation, means you also believe in the power of partnership, but also believe in the power of localization. I know we have had the opportunity to visit the booth and understand the work that we're doing with the partners, but to make sure that everyone also is in line, we have prepared a very short video to bring to life the work that we are doing, but also to bring to life the impact that we have created so far. So at this present moment, I'd like to invite you, ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention to the screen. We are going to show you a brief documentary on the work that we are doing to amplify partnership, to amplify localization. Karibuni sana to watch our documentary.
The Global Civil Society Strengthening Program is a program that has been implemented through Save the Children in 17 country offices and also supporting 150 partners in totality. In Tanzania specific, the program was supporting 7 civil society organizations. The overall goal of the program was to contribute to a strong civil society in Tanzania, to demand and support the fulfillment of children's rights, but also to hold states to account and mobilizing and empowering children in their communities.
The approach is not common because we have been in this industry for more than 10 years, and most of the partnership were just provided with few resources to implement portion of activities within a bigger program or a project. But this approach, first of all, it provided resources to implement activities, according to our own plan. So we are not driven to implement things that were brought by the partner, but based on our plan.
The structure of the program itself reflected the true meaning of localization and shifting power. We were put at the center of the funding itself. The program did not come with its own initiative, rather came to support what we were doing. That's a uniqueness of this program.
What does localization mean for Save the Children? It starts with the agency of the problem. It is when the communities and the children themselves identify and take ownership of their issues and then work together with us in crafting the solutions for those issues. It's about them having a voice in how we address these concerns together with them, and then them giving feedback, but also getting the capacity to address the problems that they face.
Localization, or shifting the powers to children, communities, local actors, CSOs and NGOs, see it as our key enabler in our strategy.
When you bring in and empower and shift power to local entities, you are able to ensure sustainability of the good work we are doing for children.
Throughout the program, 10% of the funding for local partners was specifically allocated to build their capacity to improve their efficiency and also enhance their sustainability and ability to operate on a larger scale.
From the time we started to engage with Save the Children Tanzania, we received a number of capacity building sessions to make sure that we capacitate our organization in terms of policies, how we work, how we engage the government, how we engage our members, and more importantly, to make sure that the children are brought in the core discussion of climate change.
I will start by appreciating the organizational capacity assessment, which to us was like an eye-opener to move us from the comfort zone that we have been working on.
Save the Children supported us to establish a ZCRF website, which is very important for our visibility, but also we managed to install the financial accounting system and establish the bulk payment system. We have adopted the gender and inclusive policy, and we have adopted the environmental and the climate change policy. So that are the few, but also we managed to review our constitution to strengthen organization, management, organization, governance.
The fund makes us more sustainable because our capacity have been improved. So at the beginning of 2023, there's a survey assessment conducted to us as ZAFA Plus to the UN agency, and they realized that ZAFA Plus is the one among the high-risk organizations to invest a bigger project. Recently, another assessment conducted to us to measure how much do we manage to improve. They realized that the study reveals that ZAFA Plus is a low-risk organization. So there's an opportunity to invest a bigger project to ZAFA Plus without any problem. Now, UN agencies, they are confident to invest here to ZAFA Plus. And now we managed to get 2 projects from the UN family.
The Global Civil Society Strengthening Program achieved remarkable outcomes for the country, communities, and children. We have witnessed the growth of civil society organizations and amplification of children's voices, and increased awareness and consideration of children's rights, not only in the village centers, but also in the halls of power.
Before this project, Civil Society Strengthening Project, we used to work with the children. But normally we used to work with the children and the issue of parenting, child rights, and other things. But through this project, it just come to show us the way how to empower children.
One of the impact that has been achieved is we advocated for inclusion of climate change in primary and secondary school curriculum. And during the course of discussion, we were invited to advise the government by the time it was revising the curriculum, and we provided such input. So now the curriculum is under review, and we are convinced that the issues of climate change will be part of it. That is one of the issues that we are proud of, that it has caused that impact.
We have seen the increase in budget of allocation for Ministry of Community Development, Gender, Elderly and Children by 42% in 2024. But also we have managed to review the children guideline, child council guideline, which aim to widen the civic space for children to participate and hold the duty bearer accountable for their rights.
Through the program, we have been able to support access to justice to a number of children. In 2023 alone, more than 1,000 cases were supported, but also mindset transformation. We have been running community mobilization activity to transform mindset, where men now are appreciating gender equality and are supporting the rights of women and girls in their localities.
In terms of the approach that is used by Save the Children, the model facilitates scalability, enabling donors to achieve broader reach and impact. Leveraging on local civil society means programs can be expanded more efficiently and adapted to different contexts within Tanzania.
I feel proud, I feel very fortunate, very lucky to be part of this program because it makes our organization now strong and sustainable.
We've recently refocused our ways of working and enhanced our internal tools to really be able to work with these partners and to support them with what they have and the knowledge they have to be able to do better together, because there's so much work in Tanzania to be done, and jointly when we join our forces, when we join our capacities, we are able to do better. Recently we've pivoted and included more actors like the private sector, and we've been able to create partnerships that has enabled us to leverage the capacities of private sector to be able to do development work and humanitarian work together.
We have been in the space for more than 100 years. We have been working for children for more than 100 years. So we know what works for children. We know what strategies work better. So we have the experience.
Further funding of the Global Civil Society Strengthening Program in Tanzania would mean we are able to continue empowering civil society organizations and children to become champions of children's rights in Tanzania.
That is impact in action. And the beauty about what we just saw is the people who experienced that are here with us. So the booth are still open. Later, we have a networking lunch, and we'll invite you kindly visit this booth so to get to know even more. This is just a snippet on what we have achieved. And I can attest that from the words that came from themselves directly, we in CSOs getting stronger, both in terms of the technical aspect, but also in terms of the impact that they're creating. But more importantly, we have seen that we are able to create a safe space for the children in Tanzania, both in areas of climate, in area of nutrition, in area of education, and even further. I wouldn't want to say much because all this has been packed, and it will be brought to you as an overview to understand how Save the Children managed to achieve that through our localization strategy, but also through our strategic plan. And to do that, we just want to engage you briefly because we've been talking a lot about localization, we have been sharing about our impact with partners, but we understand we are all coming from the same ecosystem. So before the next session, if you wouldn't mind, this is probably the only time I'll ask you to grab your phone and pay attention to the screen. I'll be showing you a QR code that will lead you directly to a very short Mentimeter, and we just want to get your, to just tap into your brain by understanding few things about localization. So my work will only be to guide you, make sure that we are all in the Mentimeter. So for those who have the capability to scan a QR code, you can scan directly. But for those who might not have the capability, you can just go to your browser, any browser. If you're using Safari or Chrome, you can just go to your browser and type the word Menti for menti.com, and then it will ask you to put a code. So I'll go a little bit slow there to make sure that everyone is in. Kama simu yako ina uwezo wa kuscan QR code, tafadhali tunaomba uscan. Lakini kama hauna uwezo huo, unaenda kwenye sehemu ya kusearch, utaandika menti for menti.com. Itakwambia weka code, utaweka hizo namba. Namba ni 71414121. The code is 71414121. I can see quite a number is already in. From where you are, if you are in, just wave. If you are in our Menti already, just wave. Not yet, not yet. No, there's quite a number. If you have any technical challenges, just also just put your hands up, and someone from our team will be there to support. If you're in, say yes. All right. If you're not in, say no. No, I hear some few no's. All right. So I think also on your table you can get the support. All right. So just hold in there. We'll tell you exactly what you're going to do with the QR code. But for now, please allow me to invite Madam Lynn, who is going to take us on the overview of our country's strategic plan, but also looking at our localization strategy for you to understand. Please, let's put our hands together for Madam Lynn Kanyuru.
Good morning. Mnanisikia vyema? Asante sana. So my name is Lynn Kanyuru. I am the Director for Program Development and Quality at Save the Children Tanzania. And this is going to be an interactive session. Thank you. Because I might have missed my call as a teacher. So if you see me moving up and down and engaging all of you, it is because I missed my calling as a teacher. Okay, so we'll start the presentation. Just checking that we are aligned and we're on the same page. So asanteni sana for giving me a few minutes to take you through this presentation. Over the next 15 minutes, I will tell you about our model for achieving long-lasting change at scale through localization. And I believe it is our desire to see those happy faces across Tanzania, right? Right? Yes. We agreed it's going to be interactive. So I will ask for feedback from you. So as Save the Children, we do want to ensure that our children are healthy, resilient. Okay, they survive, are healthy and resilient, but they also attain their full potential. And it is through localization that we are striving to increase our impact and do this. So over the next couple of minutes, I will take you through a couple of slides where I will seek to answer a few questions like, what is localization? Why localization? How have we achieved that localization? And how can we achieve even more going forward? When will localization happen? So please do join me in this journey. So for starters, quick quiz about how much in terms of funding do you think goes towards, of international funding goes towards local and national actors? Those who think 5%, hands up. 10%, 15, 20, 25, 30, 50, 100%? No? Well, I skipped a few. So about 8.4 million USD, no, sorry, about 8.4% is what goes to local and national actors. of the money is available in the world, about 8.4%. And this is quite a number away from the target from the Grand Bargain in 2016, the target of 25%. So together today, we do hope that we'll get to the point where we make those personal commitments to come closer to that target of 25%. At Save the Children, as you will see, we will aim for even higher. But now, to the mentee, I see you already answering, because I wanted to hear from you, what are the words that come to mind when you hear about the word localization? And it's really nice to see some of the words already coming out. Some that I do not understand, like Joker, Jokha. But we do have empowerment, which is really great, contextualization, shifting powers, local context, ownership. Oh, wow. Local ownership is coming out, shifting powers is a big one. Oh, really excellent. And we'll be able to package this because it is communicating what we think about localization. Now, very quickly, we will move on to the next question. Now, I looked at a few of those definitions from our key stakeholders, how they define what localization is. I ask that you take a look. You will have a slider from 0 to 10. Just slide it so that we can see which ones of these definitions really speak to you. What do you think really addresses what localization is? So take the slider, and for each of those localization definitions, just move the slider. So USAID says it's the process of shifting ownership of development and humanitarian programs to local actors. We have USAID in the house. I hope I have not butchered the definition. I only had 150 characters, so I was trying to summarize and fit it there. We have the CEDA empowerment, empowering local and national actors to take the lead in development and humanitarian efforts, focusing on local ownership and impact. FCO says empowerment of local organizations, governments, and communities to take a leading role in humanitarian and development responses. The Grand Bargain says commitment to increase support and funding for local responders, aiming for at least 25% of the humanitarian aid to go to the local actors directly. And the C4C, which is the C4C says it is to empower local actors by shifting resources, increasing direct funding, reducing reliance on international staff, and strengthening local capacity. So I can see what you're thinking about, that they do really represent what localization is. So back to the presentation. Now that we're on the same page, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. We have a good understanding of what localization means. We know why we need to do localization. So moving on, next slide. There are some reasons why now, and my previous speakers touched a bit on this, but the main reason is that, one, the needs for children and youth continue to increase. The monies are not matching that increase, and as Save the Children, we know we cannot achieve impact at scale if we work by ourselves. So we do need to work with the local and national actors who are closest to the issues and have the understanding and the context, and we will support them to be able to achieve that. Next slide. So at Save the Children, we are aligning localization agenda with our strategic plan. It is how we have managed to achieve our current strategic plan that ends in 2024 December. And more importantly, looking forward, it is how we intend to achieve our strategy for 2025 to 2027. As Save the Children, like I said, we want to ensure that our children not only survive and thrive, but they attain their full potential. So our first goal is on health, where we want to ensure equitable health systems health services, foster healthy and resilient communities, and support the government systems for lasting health outcomes. Our second goal is to increase the access, to ensure there is access to safe and inclusive quality education for all boys and girls. Our third goal is that all children are protected from abuse, exploitation, violence, and more digital harm, with strong mechanisms to remedy violence against them. Our fourth goal is to ensure child-sensitive social protection and resilience building of communities to improve the well-being of children and youth. And finally, our goal 5 is that government and the local and national actors are strengthened to deliver on children and youth rights and ensure their participation in decision-making. To achieve this, we have several enablers, and in the course of this presentation, I will show you how these different enablers are going to ensure that we attain our goals. So we are guided by several principles, as you can see there. We want to ensure that we have equal collaboration with local actors, and this includes, sharing of resources, but also leveraging this decision-making all from the beginning of program design. We want to ensure we have equitable partnerships, we have collaborative local partnerships, and also continue to strengthen local capacity. And to do this, we have what we're calling the 7 dimensions of localization. The first one is around funding. We know this is a big issue when it comes to localization. For us, we want to ensure that our partners we want to enable the local actors to access diverse funding sources and also ensure that they have the resources to not only deliver on the programs, but to really build the organizational capacity. And we will work through innovative funding modalities that I will show to be able to achieve this. We also want to ensure that we have equitable partnerships that are ethical as well, so that we are committing together to these partnerships. We want to ensure that we are sharing capacity, acknowledging the capacity that already exists, the capacity that we bring, and together sharing that participation, that capacity. We are going into what we are calling the participation revolution, where we will ensure that local actors shape their programs through inclusive engagement. And for us as Save the Children, our participation is also very critical for children and youth as well. We are in various coordination platforms. We would want to ensure that the local actors are in those spaces as well, and to strengthen the capacity then for government to coordinate these different partners. We want to increase the visibility of the work that is happening, and this is a great example of how this visibility is being increased. But of course, together, then we can work also on policy influence. Internally, we will ensure that we have the governance and accountability mechanisms that will support localization. So the graphic you see there, you went too fast. So this graphic you see here is our current state, where we are doing, the color might not be very visible here, but the green is what we are doing with our partners, but more and more, the red represents Save the Children. So the red is what we are doing. But more and more, what we'd like to see is local partners actually take the lead in a lot of this work. So for instance, in the development sector, where there exists capacity, then we would want to do more technical assistance. For the humanitarian sector, again, where capacity exists, then the local actors should be the first responders. Where capacity doesn't exist, then we would come in to be able to support. So this shows how we want to do more and more of some things, like we want to continue to work together with advocacy, but for something like direct service delivery, We want the local partners to be the ones to do more and more of the direct service delivery, while we do technical assistance and only come in as needed. And it is through this that we'll be able to shift from the numbers we were able to reach previously to many more numbers and create more lasting impact. So very briefly, I will show you some localization in action, some examples, some that were highlighted during the videos and were also highlighted in the speeches that were made. So the first one is the CEDA-funded Global CSO program that was running from 2022 to 2024. And it works through this capacity strengthening model to ensure that the local actors to be, to do, and to relate. And we work through, in terms of being, supporting governance, human resources, finance, so that then, in terms of delivery, the local actors can program in high quality and have efficient operations, but also are able to relate externally through communications, external relations, and also resource mobilization. So the process started with the organizational capacity assessment, as you heard, and then we provided resources to be able to support these different aspects, as shown here with the different capacity areas. And we worked across these different partners. We have the Tanzania Human Rights Defenders Coalition, Forum CC, WILDF, Zanzibar Child Rights Forum, Tanzania Child Rights Forum, and also Rafiki SDO and Zafa Plus to be able to do this project. I will just highlight very briefly some of the key successes. So, for instance, more than 75% of the funding went directly to the partners, with 10% going towards organizational capacity building and the rest going to support the partners to achieve. So all the successes we are celebrating here are actually achieved by our partners, and we are really proud of these achievements. For instance, you can see Forum CC worked in one of the objectives around raising the agency of children. And we were able to have more than 231 children across 5 regions in Tanzania advocate for their right to a healthy environment and come up with a climate statement that was presented at the Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi. We have GBV Mukuki Coalition that was able to leverage the 16 days of activism to push for the finalization of the National Plan of Action to end violence against women and children, and this was launched in May of this year. We saw WILDF facilitate legal aid clinics across multiple regions, supporting more than 1,400 cases involving women and children. In Pemba, Jumaza, and this is the ripple effect. The really amazing effect is that you support one, it supports the others. So in Pemba, Jumaza was able to work with the local religious leaders, transformed attitudes to end child marriage and promote equal opportunities for boys and girls, even in the most remote areas. We saw Rafiki SDO advocate for government to construct a dormitory for children with disabilities. And talking about organizationally, we were able to see, even from a gender perspective, our partners really work towards increasing female board representation. For instance, Zanzibar Child Rights Forum increased the female board representation from 0 to 28%, and management from 0 to 30%. We saw Zafa Plus increase the female on their boards such that 50% are now female and 60% of management is female. So really remarkable successes, both from the organizational structures, but also in what they're able to deliver. Quickly, I want to also highlight that with the funding from USAID, we had this project called USAID Lisha and the Level Project that ran from 2018 and to 2023, and this work continues as the Lisha project that is currently led by Kimonix. But one of the things that I really wanted to point out here is this. where the project was able to leverage more than 250,000 US dollars from the private sector. This is a remarkable achievement where you're acknowledging what exists within the private sector and really leveraging those resources and building our societies with that. Thank you. Panita was one of the partners under the Leash and the Level project. Again, a really amazing partnership that started at the infancy, where Save the Children worked to support the creation of PANITA, which is the Partnership for Nutrition in Tanzania. And this coalition is now amazingly, just 5 years later, in more than 26 regions across Tanzania, and that's more than 130 districts, and have contributed to empowering an additional 300 CSOs, and is now a leading actor in developing nutrition policies and advocating for and ensuring that there are budgetary allocations for nutrition. This is sustainability in action. Finally, our localization strategy doesn't only look at the local and national actors, but also working hand in hand with government. And this is another example where we've been able to partner with the government to strengthen the capacity, for instance, the capacity of the PMO's disaster management team to respond and to influence policy that prioritizes locally led humanitarian response. And some of these are some of the policies we've really supported, from the national cholera response to the national drought contingency plan. We were anticipating El Nino last year, so worked to really support in terms of anticipatory action, in terms of not just in having the policy and the planning, but also resources being allocated. And we partnered with Rapid Tanzania to fund the emergency response and to advocate for government and private sector resources. So what is next? We would like to continue to work with the different stakeholders. We continue to to support our partners to access funding from institutional donors, from philanthropists and foundations, from the private sector, from internal resources, and from government resources as well. I'll speak a little bit about some of the internal resources. We have, for instance, Save the Children's Global Ventures and Kumwe Hub, based out of Rwanda, that we're talking about innovative financing. So where you look at businesses that are designed to have a social impact, and together you come up with models that are not only meeting the business side of things, but also creating impact. So some of this is around de-risking social impact interventions, or it could be, even advancing resources where you have like performance-based financing, and some of the local actors cannot access that funding at the beginning. Then these mechanisms come in to be able to support this. Our commitments: we commit to adapt and reframe our role to remain relevant within the localized development and humanitarian space. We will redefine our role from direct implementers to facilitators. We will forge strategic and equitable partnerships. We will support to amplify the voices of local and national actors in all spheres, both locally and internationally. As I close, we have a call to action. I know at this point I'm preaching to the choir. We know why we need localization. So I want us to take a few minutes, reflect on, in your personal capacity, in whatever capacity you sit in here today, how do you pledge to support localization? Our children are here. You're talking about localization. What can you do as a child? We have our donors at the table. What is the pledge as a representative of your entity towards localization? Our media, I'm also putting you on the spot. From the point of view of the media, how can you support localization? Our local and national actors, same thing. Our international partners, we have site savers, IRC, and the others. From your positions, how can you support localization? This is going to be consolidated, and we'll put it together as our call to action from this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We'll still give you a few minutes. I understand some of you are still putting together your commitments. So we'll give you a few minutes to include your commitment on the Menti. I'd like to read some of them, if you could just go back. Yes. It will even be better if you could tag it with where is it coming from. So if you're comfortable, you can even put the organization, even if it's the media or anything, so that we could also start here, as we're saying, forging for partnership. But just to read a few, there's a commitment to enhance awareness or to continue with awareness, developing and promoting local talents to key positions, capacity building and awareness, actively engaging with community-based organizations to design and implement interventions, provide technical skills, and join force to strengthening community drive change, act as a change agent and leaders for more locally led development. Thank you very much. Please keep them coming. We will leave it there so that we could ensure that everyone is indeed considered. For now, we want to hear few voices from the colleagues that we have invited, but also we ask them to take an additional role to join us on the panel. Would want to have a very brief panel discussion with the topic that is innovation for impact. Very beautiful topic, and we'll be looking about the future of localization in Tanzania, evolving ecosystem. Understanding on how Save the Children use their model for impact. We also want to understand and hear further key players. And please, if I call your name, I'd like to invite you on stage to join me for a very brief panel discussion. I'd like to invite Viveka from CEDA. She is the First Secretary, Senior Program Manager, Democratic Government and Human Rights. Please, let's put our hands together for Madam Viveka. Karibu sana. Also, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Geoffrey Nyombi from USAID, who is the Health System Strengthening Team Lead. Karibu sana. Also, to join us on stage, I'd like to invite Mr. Nelson Karumuna from NMB. He is the General Manager for NMB Foundation. Karibu sana, Mr. Nelson. Also, I'd like to invite on stage also Mr. Ellis Patrick, who is the Executive Director for Tech Forward. Also, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Ismail Ramazan, who is the Deputy Executive Director from Tanzania Bora Initiative. I know we have one extra free seat. I will not take this seat. I'll prefer standing. I want my panelists to assume that this seat here, there is a child sitting here. So whatever, anything that you're going to share, please consider this child here, right? We have our few questions. Please, you can also use the time as you're going for the first questions to introduce and tell us a little bit about yourself, but also a little bit about also the organization that you're representing. And later, the audience will also allow some free time to also ask for any questions. So please, in case, throughout the discussion, in case you have any question, please feel free to write it down. We'll take a few questions, but we guarantee you that any question that you have, we will collect it, and we will make sure that we find the right response and share it with you that post this event. Without further ado, I'd like to start with you, Madam Viveka. I hope I call your name correctly. You did. Yeah, all right. Thank you very much. So as you go for the first question, I understand we'll get to know more about you. But from CEDA, as one of the key players, especially when you're looking at this localization, we just want to understand, especially on the aspect of the progress of the international policies. So based on your experience, especially on the this space, as a global leader, as looking at the global commitments to local ownership and development being turned into real results. The question is, how do you recommend the OECD/DAC 2021 commitments affected donor actions? Karibu sana.
Thank you. Is this working?
Yes.
Is it? It's not working. Now, can you hear me? Yes, okay. So thank you, first of all, for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Viveka Karlestam. I work at the Swedish Embassy with the part that corresponds to SIDA, the Swedish International Development Agency. I recently arrived only 2 months ago, so I'm very new to the country. I'm getting to learn and understand. And I'm thrilled. I think it's a wonderful place and a very friendly setting, and I'm very happy to be here today. So now, to answer your question, it's not a very brief answer. I will take some time, but allow me to go back in time a bit so that I can answer your question appropriately. Let's go back to year 2020, when the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, and its Development Assistance Committee, the DAC that you mentioned, carried out a very comprehensive and global study of all of the 30 DAC members, the donors, you call them development partners, all of our support to civil society, all of our engagement and support to civil society in the world, to CSOs in the world. And the question that they wanted to answer with this study was to see how development effective are we as donors in our support and engagement with civil society in the developing countries, or in the partner countries, as we call it, in the OECD, or Global South, as it is also called. So some of the findings, and I find them very interesting. First of all, and you were talking about it, Lynn, just now, the funding flows are disproportional. 93% of all of the donors' CSO funding goes by contract to our own domestic civil society organizations, that is in the donor countries, or other international CSOs, INGOs, based in what we sometimes call Global North. And 7%, you said 8.5%, 7% goes by contract directly to civil society organizations in the developing countries or in the so-called Global South. Also, many donors practice tied or earmarked aid to their own domestic civil society organizations. So that was one of the findings. The other finding, or several others, there is much need for more funding to, rather than through, civil society organizations in the partner countries. There is a need for more trust-based, direct, and core support to the civil society organizations in the partner countries. Further, there is a need for more structured dialogue and consultation with CSOs in the partner countries. There is a clear need to decrease the number of demands and administrative requirements, you know, all of this control and compliance from donors and sub-grantees, which are today overburdening civil society organizations in the partner countries. And so there are many more findings, but these were the ones I chose. In conclusion, donor practices and approaches, meaning the how, in supporting civil society in the developing countries, or partner countries, or global south, did not measure up to basic demands linked to development effectiveness. And it was clear that donors, we, need to change and improve practices in our own CSO engagement and support. Hence, the following year, 2021, the governments of the 30 DAC members, us, the donors, donor countries, we agreed, we adopted, we formulated, and formally committed to implement what is known as the OECD DAC recommendation on enabling civil society in development cooperation and humanitarian assistance. This was carried out in 2021. So the DAC recommendation is a common framework and a political commitment to increase development effectiveness in international civil society work. And it has 3 interlinked pillars. Number 1 is to respect, protect, and promote civic space. Number 2 is to use more effective policies and practices to support and engage with civil society actors in the partner countries. And here comes something very, very central to this DAC recommendation: to support civil society organizations in the partner countries as independent development actors in their own right. And the 3rd pillar is to incentivize civil society organizations' own effectiveness, transparency, and accountability. Now then, for Sweden and for SIDA, just to take an example, as a DAC member and a donor country, what can this imply for us? What does it mean? What do we need to do? Well, we need to give more long-term, trust-based, flexible, direct, and core support to civil society organizations and actors in the partner countries. Further, we should be supporting a wider scope of civil society actors, such as movements and grassroots in the partner countries. We should also engage in more systematic dialogue and consultation with civil society actors in the partner countries, and support independent alliances and coalitions of civil society actors in the partner countries in their own right and as independent development actors, acknowledging and trusting their capacities and skills. So then, what has been done between 2021 and today, 2024? I will share 4 examples of progress at the international level. The first one is that within the OECD DAC, we have been elaborating toolkits to assist ourselves as donors on how are we going to do this? How are we going to go about to change our approaches and our practices so that we truly can implement the DAC recommendation? So the first toolkit is on funding civil society in the partner countries. The second toolkit deals with shifting power within partnerships. And the third toolkit is in the making as we speak, and it is called Coordinating Action on Civic Space. Secondly, to answer the question on what has happened lately, The international discussion that you have talked about a lot, Lynn, regarding the different agendas such as decolonizing development, shift the power, localization, locally led development, is really loud and very, very vibrant, I would say, and it also comprises clear demands from global south civil society for more equitable, trust-based, decolonized international development sectors. And then, to foster this sustained change, a number of donors, including Sweden, the US, the UK, FCDO, Ireland, Canada, etc., gathered in 2022 within the Global Partnership for Effective Development Cooperation, which is the GPEDC, to agree on the so-called donor statement on supporting locally led development. And this statement builds on previous donor commitments.
If you could wrap up, please.
Sorry?
If you could wrap up on the final thoughts, and then we'll come back.
I'm very quick now. So it builds on previous donor commitments to advance locally led development and development effectiveness, such as the Paris Declaration, the Busan Partnership, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the Grand Bargain 1, the Grand Bargain 2.0, and the OECD DAC recommendation on enabling civil society. And in brief, this statement is very progressive, I would say. It tells us that we are to shift and share power. We are to work to channel high-quality funding as directly as possible, and we are to publicly advocate for locally led development. And so to answer your question, yes, there is progress, but progress is slow. And only one indication to show how slow it is that OECD DAC data show us that I mentioned that 7% goes directly to local civil society organizations year 2020. Year 2023, you are right, about the 8.5% of the total international global-wide civil society funding, 8.5% goes directly to local civil society. Thank you. Sorry, I took time.
Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate. I've picked some few things to respect, support, and incentivize directly local partners. Coming to you as also a donor, you said, Mr. Geoffrey, I'd like to ask a question on innovative strategies that you're currently using, as you said, that you think they are effective, but also if you could share some specific examples, but also key lessons. These are the strategies or models that you said is currently using to give more power and resources to local organization. I would appreciate if you could keep it to 2 to 3 minutes so that we could be in time.
Okay, you can hear me. Let me start the marathon in 3 minutes. My name's Godfrey Nyombi. I work in the USAID as a health system strengthening team lead, but also coordinating localization efforts within USAID. Honored to be here, and we appreciate Save the Children leadership to invite USAID into this very esteemed meeting. So to the point of localization. So Viveka has mentioned high-level strategies that donors are trying to coordinate together and make sure that the localization on the ground is happening. So on the context of USAID Tanzania, we have defined localization as mentioned, decentralized, locally led development within the community using the local expertise that is inside the countries and making sure that we employ the same locally solutions that are needed. But this begins with us. So we believe the most important part of the innovations is to change our internal structures, our internal systems, our internal processes, and allowing ourselves also to have a change, like a behavior change, changing from working with international organization directly and into working with the local partners. That's the transformation that most donors are going through, because it's not a journey that we can just overturn in a short time. This transition has really started in a long while. I think previous 3 or 2 administration has been talking about similar thoughts in a different way, but this current administration in USAID focused on locally led development and particularly working with the local partners. So we believe also in commitment to a locally led development, not only funding to the local organizations, but also calling also the international organizations that are still funded to have a locally led approach into their implementation. Some of the key innovations that we have been trying to make within USAID is to make USAID a little bit approachable with the local organizations, sharing more information, becoming more transparent, and making it easy for the local organization. We have established what we call Work with USAID. It's a platform where you can, the directory where you can see how to work with USAID, what are the opportunities to work with USAID, but also what are the processes or funding processes to access USAID support. But we also have been able to customize our support to local organizations. We believe most of the local organizations getting worked with USAID find it hard in the beginning, but we are customizing our needs for supporting the local partners, players in action. So we have good examples, so we don't set them to fail in the beginning. So we are there to support them, make it easy for them to uptake. With that, we have made a huge transformation in USA Tanzania. I think Viveka has mentioned about the 8.5% to locally led organization funding. So far we have 20 local organizations, among which receive 38% of our development assistance. This is an increase of 18% from 2 years ago, from 2022 to currently 2024. So we have currently our grants are going, 38% of our grants are going to local organization. And that's even beyond the target we had. We had 28% as our target by now. So we have surpassed that target already. And we're literally looking forward to see more of our work going out to the local organization. To finish up on that question, I would like to just say that we also try to create transition awards, still working with international organization toward transitioning to local partners. So embedding the local and international together, building skills and transition our work to local actors. But also, as I said earlier, simplifying our business processes, making it easier for local partner to access us, and co-creation, making local partner work together with international organization, within local partners for our community together, creating compact solutions that we can fund and make development happen faster. I'll stop there. For the interest of time, I think I've beat the minute. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for also sharing the statistics there. I would like to just build on that, and I'll go to Ismail now. As the Deputy Executive Director for Tanzania Bora Initiative, you are a youth-led organization that work directly with the community. As we heard from Geoffrey here, the fund are now going directly, being given the opportunity to also access direct funds. Maybe if you could just please let us know what some of the lessons learned through this opportunity of directly receiving funds, and how does it, or how has it impacted your organization? Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Good morning. So I think first I want to share the sentiment too, because we are also sitting with the funders. What they're saying is actually what they're really doing, because as the organization, a youth-led organization, we are also recipients, one of the direct funding from the USAID, and that alone is a true reflection of the commitment that Nyombi has said. And I think one thing that I can share, the process of getting to get funded by some of these entities used to be very lengthy, bureaucratic, and cumbersome. And picking from the lessons that we captured from working with some of the international organizations, we realized that the international organization setup, they're very well vested and prepared to navigate through the requirements. And so one thing that we experienced was that the process of getting to apply, getting to co-creations, Kunyombi has said about co-creations, it's truly happening. They sit with you, they dialogue, you tell them what is working and what is not working, they take into consideration, you see there's an environment of trust, there's an environment where like you see that these people really truly want to give you the support, and they're also being mindful of the issues that maybe they may not be aware because you're coming from the grassroots. So I think that is something that needs to be, they need to be commended for the good work that they're doing. And I think there's a room for more conversations because this is a very new thing. And I know some of the donors are still operating using some of the old frameworks. So I think for localization to truly work well, these dialogues are needed more so that we can truly reflect the experiences and the things that are coming from the communities, also to inform some of the setup that they're doing. Now, localization also, from the other perspective, also means organizations trying to go directly to the communities and giving the communities the power to also influence what needs to be done to address their challenges, because they are the members of the communities and they're fully aware of the challenges that they face and the dynamics. So if they're given a platform, let's say in the programs where you create committees for them to sit also as an advisory committee where during the planning, they sit, they share the challenges, and also you prioritize together on what needs to be done, and then you divide responsibilities, not the organizations to go and implement, but rather also asking them, what do you think you can do? And what support do you need in order to be able to really address your challenges? And that forms the basis for the local ownership to be cultivated from the beginning, and also the trust to be built. And even when maybe you're potentially heading towards facing a roadblock, people can tell you that, no, maybe you should not go that way, because that approach has been used by many organizations before, but it has not worked. We think if you go through this dimension, you may be able to reach the milestone that you're looking for. So we need to look at it from both dimensions, from the funders to locals, also locals, funders, and the government, because we all know that the government also is the primary duty bearer of development. So also, once the dialogues are being channeled through all these clusters, then it means that every voices will be able to channel their perspectives and feel part to what that is being brought forward, and then the collaboration will be meaningful because everyone understands the clear vision that we all have, but also the pathways that we need to take and how can everyone fit in to be able to really reach the milestone. Thank you.
Nice, thank you very much. Let's please put our hands together. I think very beautiful in terms of how it is in real execution, where actually whatever that was being shared here by the donor is actually what is real or what is being implemented. Thank you very much, Ishmael, for sharing your experience on that. I'd like to move to Nelson now. We've been talking a lot about donor community, but I also understand coming from the private sector, you do have a key role to play, especially on amplifying partnership, but also accelerating innovation. I just want to understand from your end, looking at the role of private sector, how can they, or how do you engage in localization strategy? And please feel free to share any models or any successful story or case study from your end. Karibu sana.
Yeah, thank you so much. How many minutes I have?
2.
Only 2. Yeah, I see now it's decreasing from 3 to 2. Thanks. My name is Nelson Karumuna. I'm from NMB Foundation as a general manager. And thank you so much for having me in this discussion. Well, in terms of NMB localization strategy, let me confirm to you, in year 2024 up to year 2025, that is, it has been like affirmative action in terms of strategies on how we can, on how we can venture into the into a local, completely local. For us, when you say local, it means local. Local from the rural area slowly come to the urban area. So first, let me begin by looking in terms of innovations first before I came to your, to your questions. The NMB, under the localizations, we have come up with a different innovations, strategies, which is basically we're trying to look into a socio-economic gaps, which is existing in our community. As far as a bank concerned currently, there's a lot of development of in terms of digital banking services, which for us it has been enabled to enhance in terms of financial literacy, in terms of expanding the access to finance, particularly to underserved area, especially in the rural area and marginalized community. So this is strategy which is currently has been within the bank. It is completely aligned with Vision 2025, which we believe that in terms of leverage tech, will bridge a gap in the geographic areas which are within in our country. Through our localization strategy, I want to assure you that we've been collaborate with the different stakeholders, partners. We believe that in this space we cannot work alone. However, we need a partner or our visions or our mission, our strategy align with them. So through that, for us, we have a different model of working with the different partners who we see that their strength, their ability, capacity, we can also leverage either them to us or us to them. We have a different model in terms of collaborations. One, it's we call it public-private partnerships, where we are working with currently, we are collaborating with different government bodies in terms of to facilitate financial inclusions. I think some of you are aware that this year the NMB had signed the MOU with the government through the Ministry of Social Welfare, where we act as a fund manager, particularly for managing a certain funds, which the minister has put aside. So we, as a bank, we are using that fund, we are using that financing to unlock the issue of access to finance. We also, through the collaborations, we call it, there's something which we call it community-centric partnership. We are working with community-based organizations into urban area, into the rural area, but under this collaboration for us, what we are looking for is to transform, to change, to bring the impact to the community in any different programs. Finally, in terms of collaborations, we are working with a strategic, we call it NGO partnerships. One is a Save the Children. Currently, they've been one of our very notable partner. And from where I sit, I can say that we have started even developing a program which we believe later on we launch it, it's called SEED. We are trying together, NMB and Save the Children has come together to see how can we address the issue of skills, the issue of employability, particularly to the youth. So you can see now, as far as localization strategy, even the bank now is moving, is doing a lot of transitions. Look in terms of impact, bring the like-minded partner and see how we can address the gap within the community. We have a lot of successful partnership. Number one, which is including the Save the Children. We have different partners like ILO, many of them, who we've been engaging together and see how we, through our localization strategy, we can build or we can come up with an impactful program. Let me stop there for now.
Thank you very much. Definitely, let's please. Thank you for highlighting what is currently working, for highlighting the successful partnership that you have, and are looking forward for the program that's soon about to start with Save the Children. Elias, I understand in your booth, you are the first one to receive our guest of honor, and there's quite a number of very interesting questions that were asked there. So I understand this time around, please just keep it short. We want to just hear from your view as the ED for Tech Forward, especially also looking at the space of technology and its role towards the localization in Tanzania. From your perspective as the Executive Director, can you please tell us how do you see technology playing a key role to empower local communities to lead development efforts in this umbrella of localization? Karibu sana, 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much, Aman. And I'll always look there because I'm assuming there is a child there. As a country now, we are going to a digital economy. It's, as a government is now having this dream or is having these plans by 2030 to have a digital economy. So digital economy, it starts with so many things. At the bottom right, there is digital literacy, there is digital infrastructure. So coming to the question that you just asked, localization is just a key based on where we are as a country, but where we are going as children, because we are talking about next 10 years. With the technology is not going back, it's going forward. So I see localization as a key catalyst of development. I see localization as a key catalyst of seeing those developments that as a country all aspire. So I'll take forward, I'll just use example, I'll take forward, how do we use technology for improving the lives of community? We are local, we understand the culture, we understand the norms, we understand the economic perspective of the people we serve. So building local solutions is a key for sustainability. That is number one. And with the memorandum of understanding that we had with Save the Children, it's a key to help us bring that global perspective, global expertise into a local perspective. So I see technology is going to change a lot of things in our programmings, from health to education to environmental to climate. I see there is a big chance of how we can leverage technology to bring those changes, but locally. So if these solutions are built locally, the impact is going to be sustainable. There is still challenges, huge challenges in terms of, digital literacy is still down. And as we are talking about children, there is a lot of issues around online safety of our children, but as organization, this is one of the good things that Tech Forward and Save the Children we're actually doing. We're advocating for some policies that can help protecting and safeguarding our children online, because we know the world now is moving from offline to online. So as an organization, we are very key to see how do we keep our local children, how do we keep our local youth, how do we keep them to move with the global speed, because there is issues around economic thing, around employment. So as a local NGO, we are looking on ways we can leverage these technologies to make sure that there is no more issues around health, there is no more issues around education, there is no more issue around safeguarding our children, there is no more issues around all those areas that as locals we are facing. So final note, I believe localization is a key for sustainability, but not only for sustainability, it is a catalyst for sharing resources and tools that local needs to create local solutions. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate. For the sake of time, this final round will also be your, I think there's an open mic somewhere. Thank you. Thank you very much. So this final round will be also your closing remarks. So please just. All right. So I think I'll just bundle all the questions to USAID, but also CEDA. As you give us your closing remarks from the panel, if you could just please hint on this final question. What role should INGOs like Save the Children play towards the process of localization? Please, just briefly, as you are reflecting on this question and also sharing your closing remarks. Karibu.
Is this the one that works? Well, I'm glad. I prefer not to go directly to how INGOs should adjust, because there are other things that we need to solve first. So I would like to go back to what I perceive as the key barriers in all of these agendas. The shift the power, the decolonizing development, locally led development, etc. Because I believe it is challenging, the agendas are challenging power. And we all are aware that changing power relationships and power structures are very difficult. And these agendas are urging donors to do many things, and they are, I would like to give you a few examples of what they are urging donors to do. They ask us to hold conversations about power and how this power is displayed. They want us to critically reflect around the assumptions and narratives that we are holding that constitute the basis for our policies and our strategies. And they tell us that we should be revising the sector language and terminology because it might reinforce colonial perceptions. And they also ask us to analyze who do we trust and who do we not trust and why. And they encourage us or urge us to listen to partner countries' civil society, trust the capacity and skills that already exists, and fund courageously with direct support and long-term flexible core support. So you can see that this is not done overnight. And also we all know that change is often resisted and many times feared. So there are many barriers still that we need to overcome before we can truly talk about shifting and sharing power, funding as directly as possible, high quality funding as directly as possible, and before we are all advocating for locally led development. But I'm still hopeful because we are talking about it here today. It is high on the international agenda. It is something that we think about and talk about. So it's starting, at least. We have to make sure it doesn't stop there, so it doesn't just become something that is a buzzword and a phase that we go through. We have to stick to this. We have committed to change. So I will stop there for this time. But I would love to continue this conversation. It's my passion. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate. Yes, welcome, Geoffrey.
Great. I think as we move on into funding the local organization, we need international organization to partner with us in terms of mentoring the local organization and civil societies in terms of their quality improvement and compliance. These are the things that I think all of us agree that will not compromise and then also will not make the CSOs and local partners to feel like they're failing. So all of us have to partner to make them be a success. So be mentors. Number two, be the lead coordinator, coordinating other international organizations and the local and the CSOs together to the locally led development, but also facilitators of the good environment for the CSOs to flourish in very close partnership with the government, creating a safe environment for them to operate and supporting the initiatives that they do. And continue, the last one, continue to be a locally led champion. As I said, we have 38% of money going to locally led CSOs, but we still have a lot of resources going to international organizations. We're saying it's still important that we all develop our initiatives using the local solutions and the local community and Watoto included in the process of us doing all of that. So that, I think, will still be relevant to international organization in support of our effort to localization. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Briefly to Nelson, as you're closing, you did mention that you have a lot of successful partnership. So how did you arrive to that? A lot of successful partnership. Localization, we're talking about also strengthening, but also amplifying the partnership that these local organizations, international organizations, and the donor community, as well as the private sector, all to partner and towards working to amplify the voices of the children. So as you're closing that, how did you arrive to successful partnership? Briefly, 1 or 2 minutes.
Thank you. You see, since 2022, the bank started to do a lot of transitions. Moving from CSR to CSI, which is corporate social impact. So now the bank were looking to the impact. How then we became successful? Number one, there was a clever institutions, or there were a clever organizations, which I believe maybe they went through our strategy and see where the bank now is focusing, where the bank now is looking towards the impact based. And then those institutions now, they came to us and say, okay, as a bank, your strategy now is into impact based. How now can we work together? And they did a lot of they did a lot of presentations. It's like to see or showcase to us how as a private sector now can come in. And that's how, I see in the likes of Save the Children, they see that opportunity. And for us, when we are contemplating, when we are thinking on how we can work with a community to bring the impact, we say, okay, it's an international NGO. They have a reputation, and after we have done our internal assessment, we think that could be one of the potential partner who we can work with. But more important, it's in terms of selecting the partner, how also partner came with us. Either it's for ask or it's a partnership with a long-term, with a sustainable programs. So those are the things which we look at it in terms of to pick the partners. Who also understanding our mission, where we want to go as a bank. And from there, we'll see the likes of Save the Children, as I mentioned earlier on. Later on, we came together and see what now can we do as far as the skills concerned. What can we do as far as the employment concerned? Because that's also what something which is it's our manifest. We want to see the bank, we want to see in terms of socio-economic transformation, what can we do in terms of employment, particularly for the youth? So the partners came to us with something in hand.
Nice.
They ideally, the financially, so together, we came together, we leverage and see, and we make a decision. Now we can work together. Now we can move forward, bring on board such partner.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mutual benefit and collaboration. Appreciate on that. For both Tech Forward as well as the Tanzania Bora Initiative, the word trust has been mentioned quite a number of times throughout this localization discussion, and I would like to ask just one question and we can share. How do local NGOs build trust and ensure transparency and accountability as we are moving towards localization? In 2 minutes for each of you, please.
Thank you so much. So I will speak on the perspective from Tech Forward. One of the key component, and I think it's one of the reasons that Tech Forward is actively looking into partnership. We understand our fellow CSOs, fellow NGOs, there is still a bubble and a big gap in terms of technical expertise in systems. So building trust on our end starts with having transparent systems, transparent policies from in-house, but also to the one that, those transparency that we have with our partners. So having the meaningful engagement in co-creating, meaningful engagement in access to finance, meaningful engagement to designing programs. Those when we have no hidden agenda, when we have robust systems that are in-house, where if the donor wants to know the actual, maybe the current M&E data like that you have, if just having the systems itself, it can raise up the bar in terms of trust, the trust part. So in-house, we have a lot of systems that are putting the transparency to donor, but also we are working together with other CSOs and fellow NGOs who currently don't have capacity in terms of technology. So we go there, we help them building their like understanding how they do things in their organization, and they build solutions based on their context and demands that they have. So it's one of the key goal as an organization that we are focusing, and with the partnership that we have with Save the Children, we have started adapting some of the global systems, like from finance to monitoring and evaluation. We have adapted those and see how do they fit in our local perspective. So building trust starts by having systems, but also having the capacity of the people who are leading this organization. I'll stop there.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you know, building and sustaining trust is such a big word, huh?
Yeah.
And taking into context of where we are, one of the key learning that at least I managed to observe in different roles that I've played, many local organizations, they're on survival. That's the truth. And being on survival sometimes calls for many innovations and ideas to be able to remain operational and also be able to really remain carrying the vision that you have. Now, that being the case, an environment where there is open dialogue, where everyone is open to listen without having to judge the other part, I think that sets a very strong foundation to keep that trust, but also transparency. Because sometimes, what I came to learn, people sometimes tend to hide their challenges and how they do things because of the so-called competition. We're competing for resources. So everyone wants to be seen, they're good, they have better systems, they can manage any sort of funding to be able to win grants. And because of that reality, most of the relationships are built on a very surface level. People really don't understand how things are. So I think there's a need to have a shift in terms of how we perceive different scenarios, because once that happens, then it will be easy for organizations to sit on the table and be open to also talk about the challenges and sometimes not hide why things are not working and pretend to be strong while they're not. And once that is done, then it also provides a room in a grant mechanism to look for avenues to say, okay, if we want to give you, let's say, $1 million, how can we structure it in a way that some portion, you take it for programmatic activities, and some portion, you utilize it to be able to address the challenges that you have so that your organization can be sustainable. Because for me, I don't think if it makes sense, if an organization for 1 year is able to secure $2 million, and after 2 years, the organization is not able to stand on its own. It speaks a lot about how resources are distributed to go into impacting the community and also help the organization to become sustainable, such that when the funding ends, the organization is still able to do what they're supposed to do. So I think trust is built when judgments are scratched and thrown onto the window, and everyone comes with no expectations, and everyone comes looking everyone as an equal partner, and we're able also to acknowledge and understand the diversities of the challenges that we have, such that we're able to advise each other on how we can go around the challenges in a way that an organization is encouraged to continue sharing the progresses, and even if they face a roadblock in the future, they're also open to share, because that's what that makes the trust, stronger and sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's please put our hands together. I understand there are questions that are coming on the Q&A Mentimeter. Please take it as a commitment from our side. We'll take all the questions and make sure that we have the right responses. As we shared the QR code at the beginning of the program, everything that will be discussed during this event today, including the materials, will be included in that QR code, including some of the beautiful pictures that have already been edited, and they are there. So please, for now, we will stop there. I'd like to really appreciate my panelists. Thank you very much for taking the time. Thank you very much for preparing. We wish we could have more time and discuss even more further, but trust me, even if we have until tomorrow, we're still going to discuss, and probably we might not arrive to the ideal solution, but we're working towards there. So asanteni sana, and I'd like to release you now to your seats. Something that was prepared, and it's a surprise, including to myself. But before I invite them on stage, if you wouldn't mind, can we please just stand? At least we stretch a little bit. It has been a straight 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours sitting. So if you wouldn't mind, just stretch. You can follow what I'm going to do, right? So let's do a very simple countdown. So we're going to count from 5 all the way to 0. We're also testing if we remember our math. So we're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right? Are we together? Get some space. All right, let's go. Let's start. Louder. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 2. Uh-huh. 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 Let's go quick. 1. 1. 1. 1. There's no 0? All right. Please have your seat. I hope at least you got yourself a moment there to stretch and to be comfortable. So please keep the questions coming. At this very moment, please allow me to invite on stage Nancy. So Nancy has a very beautiful story with her journey with Save the Children Tanzania. She's going to share the impact and youth stories. She's going to put together something that will really give us a light in terms of everything that we're discussing here, to what extent we can really impact and reach even more children out there. So please, let's give our hands together for Nancy.
Good afternoon. So I think I'm going to sit here. My name is Nancy Alois Kasembo. I'm beneficiary of Save the Children Tanzania from primary school. Save the Children have been engaged us through Junior Council in different ways. They have creating a way for us to see the world out of our shell, to engage more and fly high. I come from a family that supports me and allow me to be here and engage more and more, and creating network that allow me to stand here today. So to share my story from there, I just highlighted the key moments that we shared with Junior Council's members, that Save the Children supported us in different ways, and some of them are now out of the country. Some of them, they are now fathers, and here I am as the youth, as I was children, as I was girls, children champion rights. I'm just going to read a poem. So for a few moments, I would just want to have your ears. Yeah, so I'm going to start. In the heart of Tanzania, a story grows of children empowered as hope overflows. Nancy Alois Kasembo takes the stand, a voice for youth across this land. From 5th grade days with Tuseme's guide, where girls found strength and dignity inside. Learning of health, of care and grace, with Save the Children, we found our place. Pads and kangas, essentials supplied. Boys learning too, standing by our side. In each shared lesson, respect was sown. In every child, a leader was grown. Elected young, in my ward I'd lead. From council's meeting, we planted the seed. Save the Children trained us, phase by phase, through wards and districts in countless ways. Committees formed, health, education's call, protection and the earth, we championed all. Visiting hospitals, we cleaned, we cared, Save the Children support in each task we shared. In 2018, a bonanza bright, the day of the African child took flight. Games, matches, the VAC report, children united in voice and thought. In 2021, a crowning day, chairperson of the Junior Council, I found my way. Guest of honor on the Girl Child Day, with Save the Children backing, I paved my way. Now, Vice Chair of Children Youth Advisory Committee, I lies. working with Serve the Children, aiming high. For over a century, they have changed our fate, helping flowers bloom in every state. Serve the Children with hearts so wide, with local voices, they stand by our side. In every child's hope, in every smile's shine. Serve the Children's legacy is clear, is yours and it's mine. So here we gather to refresh and renew, with localization leading what Serve the Children will do. Together we build for the future to see, children thriving, safe and free. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Some of you wanted to stand. I don't know what was stopping you, but I think it's all worth it, right? Asante sana. These are the moments you have to say the future is in safe hands, right? Yes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to invite the country director for Save the Children Tanzania to officially invite our guest of honor for the speech. Karibu sana, Madam Angela.
Asante sana sana Amani. Na mimi kwa kuheshimu protokali, kwa kujua kwamba tuna kiongozi wetu wa Kongo hapa ndani, dada Vikness, naomba nikualike utusalimie, halafu tukaribishie KM aje aongee na sisi. Asante sana.
A very good afternoon. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. We are very privileged to be here with you today, discussing a very, very important agenda that also the government embraced. Just invited here to invite the chief guest because of the protocol, but let me just make a very small correction. My name is Vikness Mayao, the NGO registrar in Tanzania. And Congo is just a body that has been established to coordinate NGOs per se, so I'm just making a quick correction from the ED statement. Without further ado, let me take this opportunity with Anna to invite you, Katibu Mkuu, to speak with this audience before you. Karibu sana, KM.
Please, you may sit for those who are still standing. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, protocol observed. I wouldn't like to repeat on mentioning each one of you, but please, I appreciate and recognize the presence of each one of you. I am delighted to be here and as a guest of honor, but also from the government. I have no excuse to deliver my speech only in English, but I will be mixing because I'm sure the media people are here, so they want also to communicate with the public what has been happening here today. So I will try to mix both English and Swahili. So it's good to be here, and as I said, delighted really to be here, to be with you and celebrate the good work that we have been doing. But I want to register and send the greetings from Dr. Dorothy Gwajima, the Minister for Community Development, Gender, Women, and Special Groups, whom she wanted to be here, but they are now attending parliamentary sessions and they has to be there. And today it's a closing day for the parliamentary session for this period of time. So she's really sending you greetings. Nafurahi kuwepo hapa kama mgeni rasmi ambaye nimealikwa kwa ajili ya kuja hapa kuhudhuria mkutano huo ambao malengo yake makubwa kwanza ni kuwepo hapa kwa ajili ya kuangalia kazi nzuri ambazo zimefanyika huko nyuma, lakini pia mbele yetu kwa ajili ya uzinduzi wa program mpya ambayo iko mbele yetu. So I want to thank Save the Children for the invitation, but for the good work that they have been doing to complement the government effort. Because what they are doing, Save the Children, and all NGOs that they are benefiting from Save the Children, is in fact to complement what the government is already doing. So we thank you for complementing the good work that we are doing, because that has been done through the policies that we are having, the guidelines that we are having. It's through the policy and the guideline, the Save the Children and other NGOs are working through that. So I want to thank you, Save the Children. But I also want to thank our donors and the partners that have been financing Save the Children, but also other NGOs that have been working on the area of supporting children. To mention a few here, we have the presence of USAID, but also SIDA. Thank you so much. You have not only been supporting, but also you are here present, and you have also been part of, I've seen here on the panel session. So we really thank you so much. Unachukua nafasi hii kuweza kuwashukuru Save the Children ambao wametualika hapa, lakini pia Save the Children wamekuwepo kwa muda mrefu wakiweza kufanya kazi. Na ifahamike kwamba serikali ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania yenyewe tayari imeweka, tunasema sera ya watoto ipo. Tumeweka na miongozo mbalimbali. Kwa ni kupitia ile miongozo ndio Save the Children pamoja na wadau wengine wanafanya kazi kupitia hiyo. Kwa hiyo tunawashukuru sana kwa hilo, lakini pia napenda kuwashukuru sana wale ambao ni wafadhili wadau kama USAID, SIDA na wengine ambao wamekuwa wakiwafadhili Save the Children, sio hao tu lakini pia na wengine kwa ajili ya kuweza kutekeleza majukumu yao ambayo kama nilivyosema ni yale ya kuisaidia serikali katika majukumu yake. The government of Tanzania is committed to the agenda of children. And to show that commitment, the government of Tanzania, they have established a ministry that, among other things that they are doing, they are also taking care of children affairs. And that ministry is the ministry that I am coming from. So that's the commitment, to understand it here in the audience that it is also a top priority, children in the agenda of our country. But also, not only that, the government of Tanzania, we have laws that protect the child. And of recent in this parliament, the previous parliament that has ended, we have also amended the law to make sure that it is strengthened to address all issues of protection for the children, especially in the social media, which in our previous policy, it was not, on the previous law, it was not incorporated. We have some of the guidelines that we have established All these are ensured to protect the children. And you know why we are saying that the government of Tanzania, children affairs top agenda? Why? The children who are here, we know at some point, all of us who are here, myself standing and some of you, all of you, we are also a child. And it is because you have been, taken care very well in your family. Today you are here, you are standing as a leader, whoever. So it is enough to say the children are the future generations. They are the ones that tomorrow they will take our seats. They will take our position. In future, they are going to be the permanent secretary as I sit here. Because when I was a kid, I never knew that one day I'll be standing here with the title as a permanent secretary. So we have to understand why we have to invest to the children, and it's a top agenda of the government. It's because they are the future generations. That is not only enough, they are the future generation, they are the future, the society of that country. They are the identity for that society. If today I'm going to, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, we are relatives. We call ourselves ndugu. But if we go there and I speak, they know exactly I come from Tanzania. If a Kenyan come here speak, even if in English or whatever, I know he's from Kenya. That's the meaning. They are the future of that society, because we have to keep the identity. But that is not only enough. Children, they are maintaining the family dynamics. If today you enter into quarrel with your wife or your husband, and you want to go into that step, you know what step, You first think about the children. What if we do this? How about the children? They maintain the ties and the bond of the family, of the two. So the children are very important. And the way, we invest in them, that reflects and determines the generation in that country and the kind of the society that we are having. But the last, because there are many why the children are important, they are the future workforce. I clearly said here, they are the ones tomorrow that they will be sitting there and they will be addressing their children in the future, in some years to come. So that's why the government of Tanzania, children is the top agenda. Kama ambavyo tumezungumza kuanzia awali, ni kwamba serikali yetu ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania inaweka umuhimu mkubwa sana juu ya watoto na ulinzi wa watoto. Serikali hii imeweka wizara hii ambayo si tupo, Wizara ya Maendeleo ya Jamii, Jinsia, Wanawake na Makundi Maalum. Moja katika kazi zake tunao idara maalum na mkurugenzi ambaye anaitwa mkurugenzi wa maendeleo ya watoto. Kwa hiyo tumekuwa na sera ya watoto, lakini pia tumetengeneza sheria za kuwalinda watoto. Kwa hiyo hili ni jambo muhimu, serikali tumeliwekea umuhimu sana juu ya watoto, kwa sababu watoto ndio taifa la kesho. Watoto ndio wazazi wa kesho. Watoto ndio watakuja kuwa viongozi watakao simama kwenye nafasi zetu hizi. Kwa jinsi misingi tunayoiwekea watoto, wakanapokuwa watoto wanaposoma katika maeneo yote, inakutengeneza taifa letu la kesho litakuwaje. Kwa hiyo ni muhimu sana, serikali imeona hili na ndio maana tumeweka hizi sheria zote. Na kikubwa tunaona pia rais wetu wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania ameweka elimu bure kwa watoto kuanzia kindergarten mpaka form 6 to the A level. Maana yake ni nini? Watoto wapate elimu bure, watoto waweze kuandaliwa vizuri, kwa sababu ndio taifa la kesho. Ukikosea kuinvest kwa watoto, umekosea taifa la kesho, tutakuja kuwa na tatizo. Na ndio maana imewekwa hivi. Lakini haitoshi, bado pia ameweka kupata matibabu bure kuanzia mtoto anayezaliwa leo mpaka anapofikia umri wa miaka 5 anatibiwa bure, na akitoka pale wanapewa bima ya afya ambayo inakuwa ina kiwango kidogo, ili mtoto yule aweze kukua mpaka ajefikie umri mkubwa aweze kujitegemea. Ndugu zangu, tuko hapa katika mambo mengi. Some of the issues that is the top agenda of this meeting is about localization. When I was sitting there, I was asking my colleagues, what is about localization? But thanks to MC, in the timetable, there are people who came here, but also my sister Lynn, I don't know, is it Lynn or is who? Yeah, when she was here. So I've learned about localization. But let me tell you one thing. I'm more than happy to learn that now the international NGOs and the partners, they're embracing the localization. But the good news is what? Localization in our country is not a new agenda. It has been there. Localization, it is exactly in our constitution. Even the way our government we are running, it is exactly stipulated in the constitution that it said to be run by D. D by D meaning you have to give the power to the low levels. They have to do by themselves. So this is not a new idea to our country or to our government. That is in our constitution, and that's what we are doing. That's why we have a ministry called Ministry of State, President's Office, Regional Administration, and the local government. So this is the one, all the policies, all the guidelines that are being formulated in other sectoral ministry, they are implemented there. Who are implementing? They are people on the grassroots. So I'm more than happy now to learn that the donors and the NGO, they are embracing that. Then we are moving now together. Thank you so much, and let's clap our hands to each one of us. But also what is important from the ministry that I'm coming from, we have a program called Bottom Up. This now is being enrolled. It is exactly what you are saying. In fact, it is emphasizing the D by D. So I want to urge Madam CEO from Save the Children and the rest. I'm happy to share that document with you and see from the localization that you are working, what can you learn from it? And in fact, it's going to help you to align it to what the government also is working on that bottom up. It's the real localization. And we as a ministry, we've come up with that document, and then we have shared it with the sectoral ministry to implement. But what's the idea really for the localization from our perspective? And in fact, I've heard from you when you are talking. The most important thing, sometimes, you know, we plan from the top here what you want to do for the community. Sometimes what we plan is not of their priority. And when we go to implement, sometimes those projects are not sustainable because they were not engaged and it was not their priority. So if I'll see in 3 bullets, localization, it's about the ownership. The ownership of whatever we are going to implement to the communities. But in fact, all the issues that we are going to implement, it has to be of their priority. Issues have to come from them. So that will help when we are planning our intervention, it will help for them to own and to engage. So if they own, it's their priorities, they own, they engage, there will be sustainability of whatever you are going to plan for them. So it's very important that whatever we are planning, it has to be on the priority, either the priority of the country, but also the priority of the community that we are working on. But also, what is most important, we have to engage the community to be part of that intervention. Ndugu zangu, moja ya jambo ambalo tumeliongelea hapa na program ambayo nitaizindua ni program inaitwa localization, lakini sisi kwa Kiswahili tunaweza kuongea localization ni kurudisha madaraka kwa wananchi pamoja na I don't know what you call local NGO whatever, asasi za kijamii ambazo ziko ndani ya nchi yetu. Asante sana dada. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu serikali yetu yenyewe tunafanya kurudisha madaraka kule chini. Wananchi wenyewe wakijua matatizo ya ni ya kwetu, wakizungumza kwamba hapa hatuna barabara, lakini barabara tunataka ipite hapa, isipite huku. Kwa nini? Wanaona ikipita hapa inaenda moja kwa moja kwenye ule mto, inawarahisishia kwenda kuchota maji. Kwa hiyo wewe ukijenga barabara the other opposite side, they won't use it, they will moving on other direction, they would rather walk. Kwa hiyo ni muhimu sana kusikia wananchi kipaumbele chao ni nini, tukakaa nao tukawashirikisha katika vipaumbele vyetu na tukawaambia tufanyeni kwa pamoja, ile miradi itadumu. Na ndio maana wenzetu hawa sasa wameliona hilo, wamekuja na hili swala la localization, kwamba ni lazima kuwe na community engagement, the priority has to come them, and then we have to engage, tuweze kufanya nao kwa pamoja. Tutakapokuwa tunafanya hivyo, ndio miradi yetu itakuwa ni endelevu, lakini pia itakuwa na matokeo mazuri. Na serikali yetu imehimiza katika hilo jambo, hata katika katiba yetu lipo, lakini pia ndio serikali yetu ile ambayo tunaita TAMISEMI. Ndio maana TAMISEMI wanasema TAMISEMI ya nini? Ya wananchi, sababu ndio wao wenyewe wanafanya. Kwa hiyo plani zote zinazofanya zinaenda kutekelezwa kule. So having said that, I would like to urge Save the Children and the donors that let's walk the talk. Whatever you have said about localization, let's walk the talk. How do we walk the talk? Please, make sure you foster and engage the local NGOs. As you have said, let's engage them. Let's build the capacity for them to do, because they are coming from the grassroots and they know they are coming from the community and they know what is happening and they know better how to engage with the community. But the secondly, please, is to even the NGO Act, the registrar is here, that's what it states. That the international NGO, they have to build the capacity of the local NGOs for them to be able to do the work. So my message here in this localization that the Save Children want to officiate today, and our partners are here, my message, walk the talk. Thank you so much. But the second issue, please, whatever we are doing, because in the localization many projects will come, all intend to address issues about the children. Please, let's align to the government priorities, because the government priorities, they are there, and we are having, we as the custodian make sure all the child police laws and whatever we have, we will share with you when it comes to issue about child protection and all other issues. So if we align to that, then we are going to really complement the government effort. But also, as I have said, you can also try to borrow what is in the bottom-up document that I told you. That is about the localization. So if you are going to use some of the ideas that are there and they are aligned to the government priority, which you have been doing, I'm just trying to insist here, you have been doing always, and that's why we are here as a government to show that commitment. That will help you a lot. But one of the issues that I want to say that we are here together, currently what is the big problem? Sijui naisemaje kwa Kiingereza, lakini iseme kwa Kiswahili, mmomonyoko wa maadili. So it's about, let's try also to use, we are having the parenting guide, to make sure that our children adhere to the norms and the values of our country or of the society we are having. Because we can be investing a lot to our children, but if they are not into the norms and our values, and then we have a problem. Good thing from our ministry, we do have that guideline for the parenting. Nilichotaka kuzungumza hapa kwa wenzetu wadau hawa, nimeomba kutoa rai kwao kwamba wao wamekuja na huu mpango unaitwa wa localization. Kwa nimetoa rai kwao kwamba ni muhimu sana kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba tunaufanyia kazi kama ambavyo wameahidi. Na kwa jinsi gani? Ni kuhakikisha kwamba zile asasi ambazo ni za kijamii zilizopo nchini ndio wazitumie sasa kwa kuziweka, kuwapa fedha na kuwapa mipango, wao ndio watekeleze. Wakifanya hivi tutafika haraka, kwa sababu wao ndio wanaijua jamii. Wao wenyewe wanatoka kwenye matatizo hayo, wanajua jinsi ya kuongea nao. Ni rahisi sana kuongea nao wale kuliko mtu mwingine yoyote yule. Lakini pia inakuwa ni rahisi, Waswahili wanasema fimbo ya mbali haiui nyoka. Sasa fimbo ya karibu ni ipi? Ni local NGO. Asasi za nini? Mimi nawashukuru sana, nimesikia commitment from SIDA, from USAID, lakini na dada yangu. Mimi kwa kweli nimefarijika sana, nimefurahi. Na kwa kweli mimi nitakuwa mdau wenu wa karibu sana, hata kuwasemea kwenye hilo. Lakini rai yangu nayo pia kwa nyie asasi ambao mnaopewa pesa hizo au hiyo mipango, kuweni waadilifu kutekeleza kwa ubora. Mtakapoharibu, mtasababisha waseme hamfai. Kwa ni lazima tuhakikishe kile tunachokifanya kina addresi yale ambayo tumeyasema. Having said that, I wanted to assure you that as a government, we are committed to make sure that this program of localization will become of a great success. Being here, it's a testimony that we are with you. We will work with you. We will collaborate with you to make this really happen. Na wahakikishia wadau wetu kwamba kuwepo kwangu mimi hapa ni ushuhuda tosha kwamba serikali iko tayari na inaendelea kushirikiana na wao, sio tu katika hili swala la localization, lakini pia katika program nyingine zozote zile ambazo zitakuja, ambazo pia ni priority kwa nchi yetu. Wakati naenda kumalizia, I thought when I was going to end my speech, I want to speak to children. Children, you have heard what I said. I told you, you are the future generation. I told you, you are the future parents, and you are the future workforce. You have all the potentials. Please, make sure that you grab and use any opportunities ahead of you. Make sure that you are not going astray. There are many things that may take you astray. Listen to your parents. Listen to your elders. And please, stay in schools. Study hard. Work hard. Pass your exams. Time will come. And one day, you are going to stand here. I also have children, and I always wish to them the very best, more than what I'm having. And it's only 2 persons in life that are going to wish the very best to their children, and that is a mother and a dad. The rest are going to wish you the best, but the really one that really wish for you, it's your dad and mom. listen to them, and I wish you all the best. To all of us who are here today, please, I urge you to remember that working together on the common agenda, and our common agenda is the children. And what are the issues on the children? I have read here. It's about their safety, their health, and for them to learn. So this is our common agenda. So coming together here, what is important is for us to work together in this common agenda. I cannot overemphasize the importance of the children. I have already said it. But what I want to insist is for us to work together. But working together, it's not enough. Working together will give us the best result only if we register the truly and honest commitment. So I want to ask each one of you, if we are going all to register the truly and honest commitment to this common agenda of our children through localization, join me to stand, and then you will sit. And then we all have to clap our hands, please. Now I'm seeing the commitment. Thank you so much. And I also register my commitment. Please get a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, let me finish by giving a Swahili of this, the last bit that I have said. Nimekuwa na waasa watoto kwamba tumekaa hapa wote katika mkutano huu, lakini lengo letu kubwa tunawazungumzia wao. Tunaona hapa Save the Children wana over 100, I've seen where? More than 100 years helping children. Pengine baadhi waliosaidiwa ni sisi tulioko hapa ambao tayari ni viongozi. Nyie ni watu muhimu sana. Mmetuleta wote hapa. Na nyie mpo hapa kwa niaba ya watoto wengine wote hapa nchini. Kutoka Serikali ya Mapinduzi Zanzibar, lakini na serikali hapa ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania upande wa mainland. Naomba niwape ushauri, muzingatie maadili mema ambayo mnapewa na wazazi wenu. Zingatieni sana masomo. Acheni yale mambo mengine ambayo yatawavunjia ndoto zenu msizifikie. Na the only way ya kufikia ndoto ni mambo makubwa matatu. You must have a vision, ndoto. A vision. What is your vision? I have asked a boy from Zanzibar, who do you want to be? I was testing what is his vision. Akasema, when I grew up, I want also to be one of the person that I'll be taking care, children affair. Kambe, is that only enough? You want to be director? I said, in fact, I want to be a minister that will be doing that. Let's clap our hand for you. Sasa hiyo ndio ndoto, that's the vision. But you cannot attain your vision without a discipline. Lazima uwe na nidhamu. And the discipline, it's a very broad term. Ni neno pana. Discipline from what you are doing. Discipline that you have to go to classes. Discipline of listening to the parents. Discipline on how you speak. Discipline of so many aspects. And if you have a discipline with your vision, ukiwa na nidhamu na ile ndoto yako ya kuwa nani, umebakiza mambo mawili tu ambayo mnayounganisha kuyaweka matatu. Unahitaji kumuomba Mungu akusaidie kwenye hiyo ndoto yako, lakini humuombi tu, work hard. So pray to your God that you want to attain that vision, have a discipline and work hard and you'll be successful. Hayo ndio ambayo mimi nimeona niwaeleze watoto wangu hawa ambao ndio nimeyasema, na mwisho nikawaambia wazazi wenzangu ambao tuko hapa kwamba ili tufikie yote tuliyopanga ni lazima tuweke commitment. Ni lazima tuweke what is commitment in Swahili? Samani. Nia tuweke nia na nini? Na ile ari ya kufanya jambo. Lakini tufanye wote kwa kushirikiana kwenye jambo ambalo wote tunakubaliana, ambao ni za afya za watoto, ambayo ni afya ya watoto, usalama wao, lakini tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba wanasoma. Ladies and gentlemen, having said that, I am now honored and ready for the next step. Asanteni kwa kunisikiza. Thank you so very much.
Makofi zaidi kwa mheshimiwa. Asante sana. Asante sana mheshimiwa. Sasa wakati huu tukiwa tunajiandaa kuingia kwenye hatua za kuzindua mpango kazi, tuna mpango kazi ambao tuko nao, strategic plan, lakini pia tuna plan ya localization. Kwa hiyo tutakuwa tuna utaratibu wa kuzindua mheshimiwa pamoja na meza kuu. Tutaanzia hapa chini. Hapa chini kutakuwa kuna kitufe cha kuweka ishara kwamba leo siku hii ya tarehe 8 mwezi wa 11 tumezindua dokumenti hizi mbili, moja ikiwa ni mpango kazi kuanzia mwaka 2025 hadi mwaka 2027, lakini pia ikiwa ni mkakati kwenye kuhakikisha utekelezaji wa localization. Kwa tutaanzia hapa chini na wageni wote tukiwa hapa chini. Tutaomba kama hutojali kubaki ukiwa umesimama, kwenye screen zetu kutakuwa kuna utaratibu, tutakuwa tumeweka countdown. Ile namba itakuwa inaenda kuanzia 9 mpaka 0. Ikifika 0 wote kwa pamoja kuashiria kwamba tuko hapa kushuhudia tukio hili, tutaomba tushangilie. Na baada ya hapo tutakuja hapa mbele sasa. Mheshimiwa, nitaomba nikusumbue tena. Ukiwa unaongozana na meza kuu, tutakuja hapa mbele kwa ajili ya kufanya ishara ya kukata ribbon, kuonesha sasa zile document ambazo tumezileta. Kwa hiyo tunaomba tuanzie hapa tafadhali. Watu wa media tunaomba tutasogea nyuma kidogo ili kuhakikisha tunapata kumbukumbu ya picha pamoja na video. Watu wengine wote, matukio yote yanayoendelea hapa tutayapata. Kwa hiyo tafadhali unaweza kuwa unataka kuchukua na simu, lakini tunakuhakikishia picha zinatoka ndani ya dakika 5 baada ya hili tukio. Kwa hiyo just be seated there. Tukiwa hapa mbele pia tutapiga picha mbalimbali za makundi. Kwa mheshimiwa, karibu. Tunaomba tuanze kwenye tukio letu la kwanza. Tutakuja hapa kwenye kitufe. Huku tukiwa tunaangalia kwenye screen. Karibu sana mheshimiwa. Yes, ndio. Tukiwa tunaongezana na meza kuu, tutakuwa tunakaa pembeni ya mheshimiwa hapa. Yes. Sasa wengine wote tutakuwa tunaangalia kule kwenye screen. Tutakuwa tunaangalia kwenye screen, tutahesabu wote kwa pamoja, alafu tukifika namba 9 tutaashiria kwamba tumefanikisha sasa kuzindua. Sasa tunaanza kuhesabu. Mko tayari? Anaona kama bado hatuko tayari. Mko tayari? Haya, sawa. Basi tuweze kuangalia. Tuko hapa kwa ajili ya watoto, amplifying the voices of the children. So mtu wangu IT, tuende kazi. Ili kuweka tu tahadhari, kutakuwa kwenye harakati za kushangilia, pembeni hapo kutakuwa kuna tunasema ni mapambo ambayo yatatoa tu cheche, hazitaumiza mtu. Kwa hiyo tafadhali usijali. Especially for those who are down there, there will be a little bit of celebratory artifacts there. We'll have pyros. So please do not run. All right, I hope you are ready. Tunaomba tuende kwa pamoja. Nafikiri media wote tuko tayari. All right. Tunamalizia mapambo, tutasogeza kule. All right. I think we are ready. Tunaanza countdown. Twende kazi. Kwa sauti. 3, 2,
1. Makofi. Makofi, 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 makofi. Tuendelee kupiga makofi kwa dakika chache. Asante. Asante sana. Shukran sana. Asante sana. Asante sana. Sasa nitaomba tukiwa hivyo sasa tuweze kupanda kwenye stage na kuja hapa juu kwa ajili ya kukata ribbon kwenye kuzindua hizi dokumenti zetu, na hapa mbele ndio tutafanya tukio letu la picha. Hiyo ni hatua ya kwanza tu. Karibuni sana huku mbele tena mheshimiwa na timu yako, naomba ni kualike hapa mbele. Asante. Sasa tukiwa tunaongozwa na leo wadau wakubwa sana ni watoto, tutakuwa tuna hizi document mbili. Kwa hiyo tutaomba watoto ambao tuko hapa, tutakuwa na ambaye atakabidhi mgeni wetu rasmi kifaa cha kuweza kukata, lakini pair ya kwanza tutachukua hii document hapa na kumkabidhi kwa ajili ya ishara ya kukata. Kwa hiyo tunaomba pair yetu ya kwanza wawili tutachukua document ya kwanza. Asante, tukimkabidhi mheshimiwa, lakini tukimuomba pia tusaidie kukata ribbon kuashiria kuzindua. Hiyo document ya kwanza ni mpango kazi kuhakikisha kwamba tunatekeleza yale ambayo tumeyapanga. Tukikata tunaomba wote kwa pamoja tunashangilia tafadhali. Makofi hayatoshi, makofi hayatoshi. Studio naomba na muziki tafadhali, ni tukio la muhimu. Tuweke chini kidogo kwa ajili ya picha. Asante sana. Tutaenda kwenye mpango kazi wetu sasa kwa ajili ya kuhakikisha localization inatokea. Tutarudisha hii hapa na tutachukua sasa pair yetu ya pili kule. Tunaomba tuchukue na sisi document zile ambayo iko pale. Hii ni ishara ya document ambayo ipo na naamini kila mtu ambaye yuko hapa kwa namna moja nyingine utapata nafasi ya kuisoma. Mheshimiwa, tunaomba pia uweze kukata ribbon kuashiria uzinduzi wa kitabu hichi au mpango kazi huu wa localization. Akikata makofi tafadhali. Tukiwa tunapiga picha za pamoja kwa ajili ya ukumbusho. Asante sana. Sasa mheshimiwa, ukiwa bado hapo kwa ruhusa yako naomba tufanye zoezi la picha kwa haraka. Tutakuwa na makundi machache tu ya picha. Wageni waliko tafadhali tunaomba tuketi. Asanteni sana kwa kushiriki. Kundi letu la kwanza ni hao ambao tuko hapo mbele. Kwa hiyo naomba tujipange vizuri. Baada ya hapa tutaenda kwa our donor community, naomba mjiandae. The donor community, you will be next to join us on stage. Tunaomba tu smile jamani, tusisahau tuko hapa kwa ajili ya watoto. Tutachukua signal kutoka kwa media. Tuko tayari? Asante sana. Basi naomba watoto tafadhali, naomba donor community tafadhali tuweze kujoin pia on stage. Okay, nafikiri bado wako pia hapa, Yusei na Sida na wengine wanakuja. Karibuni sana. Baada ya donor community tutaenda kwa program partners. Wale program partners 7 naomba mjiandae. Tusisahau kuweka tabasamu nzuri kabisa kwa ajili ya kumbukumbu. Asante sana. Donor partners, program partners wale 7 tafadhali tunaomba tuweze kuja na sisi tupate picha ya ukumbusho. Baada ya program partners nitakaribisha Save the Children Senior Management Team pamoja na board. Tunaweza tukasogea hadi huku, ili tuweze kuenea. Tuweke tabasamu nzuri kabisa. Asante sana. Naomba Save the Children Senior Management Team pamoja na board tuweze kujoin on stage tafadhali. Baada ya hapa tutapata UN agencies. Naomba na sisi tujiandae. UN agencies baada ya hapa.
Now you can find your footage faster than ever with the new AI-powered search engine.
Sahau kuweka tabasamu. Asante. Makundi yamebaki mawili tu. Tunaomba UN agencies tuweze kujoin on stage, na baada ya hapo tutaenda kwa all staff. Basi naomba all staff tafadhali, all staff kwa haraka zaidi kwa sababu najua tuko wengi. All staff. Save the Children all staff. Kwa sababu tuko wengi, basi inabidi tujiweke sawa. Labda ningeomba mgeni rasmi kama hautojali, ili kuweza tungechukua makochi ili waweze pia kuzunguka kwa nyuma. Sisi tukae, ndio. Wewe naomba pamoja na meza yako uweze kuketi, alafu staff tutazunguka kwa nyuma ili kuweza kuenea. Hakikisha unaonekana. Okay. Yes. Asante sana. Sasa najua wote tumeshirikiana kwenye kuandaa hili tukio, lakini kuna wale ambao walikuwa wako kwenye kamati. Kwa upendeleo nyie bakini, wengine tutaendelea kushuka. Ila kama ulikuwa uko kwenye kamati, tafadhali najua you guys have worked days and night to make it happen, so tubaki hapo. Tunaomba viongozi wote wa serikali ambao wako ile eneo, tafadhali tunaomba mjiandae. Tutapenda pia na kupata picha ya ukumbusho na nyie. Alafu baada hapo private sector representative yoyote alitoka from private sector pia tunaomba ujiandae. So the committee, government officials and private sector. Makofi kwa kamati jamani. All right, thank you very much the committee. All the government officials ambao wako hapa tafadhali. All the government officials tafadhali tunaomba tuweze kupata picha ya ukumbusho pamoja na nyie pia, kama haukuwepo kwenye picha ya kwanza. Asante. Karibuni tuweze kujoin. These are the government officials. Asanteni sana kwa uwepo wenu. Asante sana. Private sector kama kundi letu la mwisho. Private sector, NMB Foundation. Karibuni sana. Karibu all the representatives from private sector.
We've got to streamline these ideas. We need Grammarly.
I've got your back.
Asante sana, shukran sana. Basi kwa kufikia hapo tunaomba tufunge zoezi la picha. Asante sana. Sawa sawa. Naomba watoto wote tuweze kujiunga tena na sisi on stage tafadhali. Watoto wote tunaomba tuweze kuja on stage kwa picha maalum kabisa. Chap 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 chap. Turn the speed kidogo. Na sisi tukae tukae vizuri, tuoneshe kufurahi. Tuoneshe kufurahi. Watoto oye. Watoto safi. Na sisi tuoneshe kufurahi. Tuweke pose moja sasa la vijana. Twende kazi. Safi. Twende. Safi. Asante sana. Shukrani sana. Asante sana. Okay, asanteni sana. Tunafahamu kuna makundi mengi ambao kwa namna moja au nyingine labda ungependa kupata picha ya kumbukumbu na sisi pia. Pale nje tumeandaa pia eneo maalum kwa ajili ya kupiga picha. Kwa hiyo tunaomba tuwie radhi kwa kutopata nafasi ya wewe kupiga picha hapa mbele, lakini tunaamini pale nje you have the opportunity to also take few photos for memory. Now, please hold on tight. Tunamalizia vitu vichache kabla ya kwenda kwenye networking lunch ambao utapata nafasi ya kuzungumza zaidi, lakini kuweza kufahamu mengi zaidi yaliyoandaliwa. And kabla ya kufika tamati, naomba nimlete kwenu the executive director for THRDC ambaye yeye atatupa closing remarks. Please let's put our hands together for Mr. Ole.
Honorable guest of honor, Professor Saif Shekilage, our permanent secretary from the Ministry of Community, Gender, and Special Groups, Registrar of NGO, Development Partner Representatives, protocol observed. I know it is hard to stand between you and your lunch, but I will try to use not more than 3 minutes to close this wonderful session. Yes, thank you, Save the Children, for inviting us and putting us together for this momentous event, so to say. First and foremost, on behalf of the national partners, human rights defenders, and civil society, I want to express our deepest gratitude to the Save the Children and its partners, and all the esteemed stakeholders here today. This gathering has been not just an event, but a powerful affirmation of the collective commitment we share together towards localizations and community-driven development agenda in Tanzania. Today, we have had inspiring stories. Sorry, I'm experiencing a certain kind of flu. Yes, and impactful results. Yes, thank you. Thank you. We've explored not only what localization means, but how it comes to life when communities are genuinely empowered to lead. We've seen how community ownerships foster sustainability, resilience, and transformation that reaches far beyond immediate needs of the society. Together, we are shaping a future where every child can thrive, safe and free within a self-reliant community that stands ready to embrace opportunities and overcome challenges. The relaunch of the Save the Children localization strategy, as we have seen today, just tells us that we are demonstrating our commitment to shift the power from up to down and allow the local communities and actors to lead the business of empowering and developing our nations. We all know that we have different paradigms that are competing when it comes to the issues of localizations. And the one paradigm that increasingly getting the power into the stage today, and even some other places, is localizations and the issues such as empowerment, self-reliance, local ownerships, and sustainability. But on the other hand, the other paradigms that compete with these paradigms is the issue of surveillance, where we talk about controls, professionalisms, issues of accountability, compliance, and excessive rules when it comes to resources that are directed towards local civil societies. I know my colleagues, USAID, you are here. This actually is one of your challenges, that how do you beat this? How do you balance the two paradigms, especially on trying to avoid too much professionalism, too much control, and at the same time, too much issues of accountability that puts away the local actors as competitors when it comes to grants and resources. And as we move towards the vision, it's very clear that Tanzania needs children who will be so effective and powerful, productive to our nation. It's good that from the government representatives we have had here, we are investing much on our future. And you cannot invest much on our future if you don't invest on children. The commitment made today to transformative funding and inclusive development and the partnership rooted in trust are the seeds we are planting. Together, we are cultivating an ecosystem where local organizations can grow, innovate, and deliver lasting impact. The doors are open, and we invite the donors, private sector leaders, civil society partners, the government officials who joined us here today to put forward this commitment. We thank you for understanding with us and believing in this power of community-led change. Your continued partnership, investment, and support are invaluable as we work to build resilient systems that will protect, that nurture, and empower Tanzania's children for generations to come. I know in Swahili, localization, it's sometimes not well captured. Even we were trying to find what is the better word to call it localizations, but I tried to Google from the Swahili Kamusi, and there's a word called it ujana bishaji. Ujana bishaji, or in other words, localization. We can actually try to we can try to embrace these words. I know this is a very new phenomenon. It's a very new idea that is coming in. We also need to localize it. We also need to localize itself to become local by even using our own language. So it is ujana bishaji or localization. So let's practice it as from here and onwards. But my colleagues, especially development partners, as we are trying to put much effort on localizations, let's also not forget that we have also some international NGOs and partners who are also trying to localize themselves. The localization of international organizations and the UN agency is also a problem in our country, not only in Tanzania, but across the developing country. And we have to strictly speak about this. And actually, I'm very happy that today the government is here, the registrar is here. This is an agenda that we need to put forward. I think they Save the Children. Congratulations for bringing this agenda forward today, just as umevunja ukimya. So now we need to move forward. We have other giants who are in this country. They need to hear this. They need to sit together with us and discuss about the concept of localization. This is the only way This is the only way we can own our issues. We can own our development strategies and plans. That's the only way. We know there are a lot of money that is coming in Tanzania, but it's not reaching us as local actors. So this is the only thing I think we need. Dialogue is always good, and the only way you can solve some of these challenges we are confronting. If we sit down like this, and next time we bring the bigger actors of community development in this country, and my colleagues, registrar of NGOs, we need to tighten sometime our policies and laws. Let them understand that we have even a provision in our NGO Act that requires international actors to actually create joint ventures, actually work together with local actors. We don't say that we don't need you. Please, let's work together. Look at how Save the Children has actually done. Taking a portion from development partner of money and are working together with us. This is what we want. There are good work that is done by local organizations at grassroots levels, but always go and support it. These are the people who are doing a bigger share of civil society activity at the grassroots level. But you don't see a cent that goes down to support the activity. So, but you look at Save the Children, we're not praising them, but if you go across the country, they always work together with local actors as part of empowering them and, of course, sustaining their work, because after you have gone or you have just closed some of your project, you'll be assured that there are people who will be actually putting forward the agenda and plans and strategies that you have actually established at that particular. So finally, I call upon now international partners to allow us work together, dialogue together with you about this agenda. We have what we call it decolonization of aid, localization of aid. We have what we call it now localization of international NGOs or localization of UN agencies. These are the key aspects that we need to dialogue together so that we can find a common and a collective ways to go together without actually leaving behind some of the key actors who are the ones who are taking agenda of this country. I also call upon the government, our registrar, please take this agenda as something that we need to put forward. I remember last time I told you we need also to come with segregated data showing how much money is going to local actors and how much money is going to other actors. You have the data and the good thing that now all the contracts that we get are coming to you. So it is very easy to come up with the statistics, because if we speak with statistics, it is easy to convince people that there's a problem somewhere that we need to rectify. Now, of course, my colleagues, civil societies who are here, yes, sometimes we are branded, we are given a lot of names that sometimes are not good, sometimes reflect the reality, but we need to confront that as well. Let's work hard to make sure that we really build our organizations with some small resources we get, build our own capacity, use the opportunity we get to build our own capacity, building trust, and use the resources that we get, as what our permanent secretary said, wisely and for good results. And this is the only way we can sustain our sector. And let's work together collectively. Nowadays, donors are shifting into consortium allocation of grants. So let's try to find a better way to work as a team collectively and sometimes apply for grants collectively. So as I said, I'm not going to take much time between you and your lunch. I hope I've stayed within the 3 minutes that I promised. If I've not done so, please, you can appeal after these sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Asante sana. I would also like to do the same. We like to also really appreciate everyone for you being here. And to do that, please, Madam Lynn, if you could please join us on stage, as well as Anatoly. This has been a very beautiful day. So this is just to really give our thanks of appreciation, but also to put a little bit of an emphasis in terms of what should happen next. Karibuni sana.
So I promise to keep this as 1 minute. You remember the question you asked about, from your personal position, your role, what is your commitment? we've consolidated that into our call to action, summarized it nicely, which I will read as soon as it comes onto the screen. But meanwhile,
okay, we are coming to an end, and on behalf of Save the Children Tanzania management team, the entire team, I would like to take this opportunity first to thank our chief guest for making time to be with us. Thank you very much. But also, I would like to thank our donor, our partner, for taking your time, coming here for this event, which has been really an impactful event. We thank you very much. The value you have put into this event, we thank you so much. And for us, as part of our gratitude, we would feel if we could continue this discussion about localization. Let us not it end in this room. Let us take it forward. Make it a discussion at every level, and make sure that we make it really a strategy, because the strategy has to be arrive. It has to be arrive. And the only way we can make it arrive is to keep it in discussion, keep it in our mind. And that way we'll be able to have more resources coming to support the localization in Tanzania. Thank you so much. Be blessed.
Asante sana. It's up on the screens, so I will not read it. On this occasion of the localization event.
Ujanabishaji.
Thank you very much. Karibuni lunch. Oh, nimeambiwa nisome tu kidogo. Okay, hold on. Wacha nisome. It says, today, on November 8th, 2024, we unite across sectors to build a stronger, more resilient Tanzania through localization. Together, we pledge, government will build systems and enact policies that empower local actors, aligning resources to foster sustainability and locally driven solutions. CSOs, local NGOs will lead child-centered initiatives on the ground, fostering partnerships rooted in equity and cultural insight. The private sector leaders will invest in community-led projects, driving not only local economic empowerment, but also sustainable development. The international NGOs will play a pivotal role in supporting localization by providing resources, training, and mentorship. While shifting power and decision-making to local partners, NGOs will continue to serve as critical allies, offering expertise, advocacy, and support for locally led efforts. And finally, children and youth advocates will elevate young voices, actively engaging in shaping and advocating for meaningful community-driven change. Our commitments today mark a shared vision for localization, one where NGOs and local partners collaborate closely to empower communities to lead, thrive, and create lasting impact. Asanteni.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It will come to that. Karibuni sana, karibuni sana. Our lunch will be served at Kilimaki. We'll first allow the high table to please karibuni sana kwa chakula cha mchana, and then after that, all the invited guests, tafadhali, you will be taken to where we will be serving lunch. The team will be at the background. The team will be there at the back stage, so tutaweza kuwapeleka wapi tutapata chakula cha mchana. But in case you're wondering where you get all the pictures, tafadhali tunaomba uangalie kwenye screen. Ukiscan the QR code, picha zote, documents zote tulizotumia leo zitapatikana hapo. Please, as we said, the booth bado zipo, kuwa huru kupitia kwenye booth na kuweza kujifunza zaidi. Until next time, on behalf of all other suppliers, thank you very much and karibuni lunch.
Unachosikia, that is a special song that was made by the children ambao wamekuwa impacted na Save the Children.
Kwa huduma zenu nzuri na umoja wenu, asante Save the Children pamoja na BPRM kwa huduma zenu nzuri na umoja wenu. Wewe BPRM ni nguzo ya mashirika yote. Save the Children tunacheza mbele yako sote. Wewe BPRM ni nguzo ya mashirika yote. Save the Children tunacheza mbele yako sote. Save the Children ni ya kwanza, kwa huduma zako wa kwanza, unavyowatetea